watching ACC Baseball on ACC Network Extra. Hello, everybody, and welcome inside Jack Coombs Field here in Durham, North Carolina, alongside former Duke catcher Ron Causey. I am Ryan Craig, getting you set for East Carolina and Duke, number 11 versus number 8. Big-time non-conference midweek matchup here in the Bull City. And Ron, for East Carolina, it all starts at the top of their order with Brian Packard. He leads the team with a .402 batting average.
Packard also leads the ECU team in home runs, RBIs, and slugging percentage. He's done all this, Ryan, after missing 6 games with a bad back this season, and that's an injury he's still trying to overcome.
Pirates batting at .287 on the season, but Ron, they do a lot more than just hit. They can field and pitch as well.
East Carolina has gotten it done this season using their pitching staff and defense. They have a 3.34 team ERA and ranked top 10 nationally in fielding percentage.
On the other side, Chris Pollard leading the Blue Devils. It's his 6th season in Durham, the fastest coach in Duke history to 100 wins, looking for the second NCAA tournament appearance for Duke in 3 years after not making it for 55 seasons. Ron, what a renaissance he has led here at Duke.
It's been a record-breaking season for Chris Pollard's Blue Devils, there's no doubt. Like ECU, they have one of the best fielding percentages in the country. They're coming off their first series victory over Florida State since 1994. And they're the only team to reach 30 wins this season other than the #1 ranked University of Florida.
Opportunity for one of these teams today to earn a big-time resume-boosting win. On the other side of the break, we'll bring you the batting lineups, the pitchers, and all the details from Jack Coombs Field. Stay with us. Duke and East Carolina next on ACC Network Extra. National anthem just finishing up here at Jack Coombs Field, and we are ready for the first pitch of East Carolina and Duke. For the Pirates, a batting order once again that has hit .287 on the season. We already talked a little bit about Brian Packard and the above .400 batting average that he brings to the table. The rest of the lineup: Lloyd, Washer, Brickhouse, Litton, Williams, Sutton, Brown, Burleson, and Henriksen for the Pirates. Washer is currently on an 11-game hit streak, batting .366 over that stretch, 15 for 41, 3 home runs, 13 RBIs, and 7 runs scored. And that lineup will go up against Bill Chalari, the lefty sophomore for the Blue Devils. Chalari 5-0 on the year. This will be his 5th start of the season, sub-2 ERA. Only 5 earned runs given up in 23 innings pitched. 6 walks to 27 strikeouts. Opponents hitting just a .163 off of the southpaw. Here you see the numbers on Chalari. And he has really given Duke a mainstay arm in the midweek. It's one of the biggest differences this year with the Blue Devils, Ron. The ability to have consistent pitching, not having to exhaust the entire bullpen to try to win games during the week, allows you to set your pitching up really nicely on the weekend.
If you're wondering how good Duke's pitching staff has been on the weekend, you can look at this young man on the mound and his numbers. Being a midweek starter for the Blue Devils, you mentioned his 1.96 ERA. I love that walk to strikeout ratio. 6 walks to 27 strikeouts. That's really getting it done, pounding the strike zone. Opponents only hitting .162 off of Chalari this season.
High 80s on the fastball, has a changeup as well, and Coach Pollard loves how many strikes his sophomore throws. Last few warm-up pitches. Windy day, you noted flags pointing out toward right center. Not typically a park that a lot of players can hit a baseball out of, but perhaps an opportunity today with the gusty winds. As Packard steps to the plate, 30th start of the season for the left fielder. Pirates 26-9 coming into today, 5-4 in conference play in the American. Duke 30-7. You touched already on the fact they're one of 2 teams with 30 wins or more at this point. 12-5 in the ACC. Had that 3rd game against Florida State canceled, so Duke is 1 game short. And just waving through that first pitch was Packard. 0-1 the count. Tried to check his swing, and quickly Chalari ahead 0-2.
Chalari working backwards already against Packard. He started with a slider, first pitch of the game. Packard ready to hit. waved at it as you mentioned, and that a good two-seam fastball to the inner part of the plate.
Chilari sets and deals the 0-2 to the ECU leadoff hitter. 1 up, 1 down. 3-pitch strikeout for Chilari to start things off here on a Tuesday evening in Durham. Hard to argue with that beginning if you're Coach Pollard.
Quick work. If he's got any argument, it's that 0-2 pitch was too good from the arm of Chilari.
Let's look at the defense in behind the left-hander. Heron, Taylor, and Conine in the outfield. Tremendous outfield defense. Really tremendous defense all around. .981 fielding percentage. It's not often that you field like that and you're the second best fielding team in the game, but that's the case today. Fly ball lifted toward Conine and right, and quickly 2 away on 4 pitches for Chilari.
That's exactly what you get with a 6-walk, 27 strikeout ratio. Chilari's a guy that pounds the strike zone. We look for him to extend into this game. He's obviously being very efficient so far. If anything, he needs to work a little bit off the plate. I mentioned that 0-2 pitch. It was swung through by Packer, but it was in the strike zone. You always want to miss 0-2. We'll see if Chilari can make the adjustment. He is cruising early so far for the Blue Devils.
Washer fouls that one away. Chilari quickly ahead 0-1. Mentioned Washer bringing that 11-game hit streak to Durham today. Looking to extend the inning. As Spencer Brickhouse waits on deck.
Chilari immediately ahead of another Pirate hitter. That a good two-seam on the outer portion. Attacked Packard earlier in this inning with a fastball 0-2.
And here is the 0-2. First pitch that Chilari has missed here in the first. Count 1-2.
Chilari nibbling on the outer portion there. Good job behind the plate. Chris Proctor framing that pitch just a little bit too far outside to be called strike 3.
Washer, 5th on the team with 9 multi-hit games for the Pirates. That one misses, and it's 2-2. As a look at Jake Washer, drove in a career-high 4 runs against North Carolina in late February. The 2-2. Breaking ball misses, and Washer has worked the count full.
Looks like that one hung up and out. Didn't get that one out in front. Snap it off. Was a breaking ball, as you mentioned. He's worked the count full now.
The 3-2. Outside. Nice job by Washer to extend the inning. Well behind in the count, and yet trots down 90 feet toward first. 18th walk of the season for Washer. And that brings up one of the best names in college baseball, Spencer Brickhouse, batting .280 this year. 4 home runs on the season. Swung on and missed.
First pitch slider, we saw that same thing to Bryant Packard, the leadoff hitter for ECU this inning. Duke out at second base, Max Miller playing pretty deep in the grass, expecting Brickhouse to pull.
It's down the left field line, but foul. Quickly 0-2 once again as Chilari gets ahead of another batter. Brickhouse, a tremendous year a year ago. Pitchers, though, pitching him much differently now that he's a known quantity, so the numbers have dropped just a bit. Still as dangerous as ever. Batted .310 last year with 10 home runs. Now Chilari works 0-2, 2 away. paints the outside corner. So Washer works a walk. Nothing doing besides that. We'll head to the bottom of the first. It'll be Heron, Proctor, and Cone for the Blue Devils when we come back on ACC Network Extra. Set for the bottom half of the first inning here at Jack Coombs Field. Jimmy Heron to lead things off for Duke as we take a look at the batting order for the Blue Devils. Heron, first Duke player with 50-plus doubles and 50-plus steals in a career, at 56 stolen bases right now. He's been excellent in the first inning. 17 times this year he has reached in the first, and 15 of those times he has come around to score. Incredible stats for a guy that has led off for 3 years here in Durham. And opposing that lineup, Jake Agnos. Agnos 3-2 on the season with a 3.64 ERA. This will be his 8th start. 29 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 26 hits, 15 runs, 12 of them earned. 34 strikeouts, but 21 walks. Opponents hitting .243. Saw Chilleri get off to an excellent start for Duke. See if Agnos can match him on the mound. Two lefties going today. That one's in for a strike. Heron batting an even .300 coming into today. Lifts that one foul. So like Chilleri, Agnos quickly ahead, 0-2. Heron is the entire package, plays good defense, a little bit of power, plenty of speed on the base paths as we alluded to.
Heron truly the spark plug for this Duke offense. You mentioned hitting .300 on the season, has plenty of speed, can lay down a bunt for a base hit at any time, 15 for 16 on stolen bases for the year. And when he's on base, Duke always feels like they have a chance. Duke getting it done with their pitching and defense, but also the spark plug on the bases there, Jimmy Heron.
That one misses. Count is even at 2-2 to the Duke leadoff hitter. That one plunks him. So Heron earns first base the hard way, and he'll take his 15 stolen bases in 16 attempts with him to first. Opportunity early on for Duke to cause some issues for Agnos and the Pirates.
You can't see it there, but Jimmy Heron does like to stand as close as he can to the plate, right on the edge of the right-handed batter's box. He does a great job just turning the shoulder away from that ball. You see a lot of guys, especially leadoff hitters that like to get on base, they'll lean into it. Sometimes the umpire will keep him at home plate. In that instance, great job by Heron turning into it, and leadoff runner on for Duke.
Proctor swings through that first pitch. Chris Proctor batting .291, the Duke catcher. Bit of a slow start for him, but Coach Pollard saying he's really carried the team to some extent here lately. See what Heron does on the bases. That one misses the target, 1-1.
Proctor is so good behind the plate, it almost doesn't matter what he does at the plate. He's going to be in the lineup somewhere. We've seen him do a great job taking the ball the other way throughout his career.
Fouls that one straight back. To that point, Proctor, a gold glove in the Cape Cod League at his position. Does a tremendous job with this Duke pitching staff. We've already talked about how good they've been. As the shadows creep in from left field. Off the plate, 2-2. Thus far, nothing doing for Heron at first. Agnos, the lefty, on the mound.
Brady Lloyd out at second base has the scouting report on Chris Proctor. He shaded towards the middle of the field, ready for Proctor to take the ball the other way. Agnos looks to be working Proctor on the outer part of the plate. Has yet to give Heron a look down at first base.
The 2-2, there goes Heron. Slap towards short, it's going to find a hole. Heron looking for third, should be there easily. Proctor will stop at first, and the Blue Devils have runners at the corners with nobody out here in the bottom of the first.
Classic hit and run put on by Chris Pollard there. Great job at the plate. Chris Proctor gets an outside fastball, hits it on the ground. Opposite field, Turner Brown leaving his position at shortstop to cover the base at second, where Heron is trying to steal the bag. That opens up the 6 hole. Blue Devils have runners at the corners now after a perfectly executed hit and run. Another look at Proctor just getting the bat on the ball to the left side. You see Brown leaving his position, and Blue Devils looking to strike early.
Here's a guy who's made a major swing change this year in Zach Cohn, and it has paid off, driving the ball a lot better than he had previously in his career. Cohn takes a strike. 293 on the season, 3 home runs, 3 triples, 9 doubles. Leads the team in hits coming into today with 44. Changed just about every part of his swing. Ron, I don't know if you've ever had to do that in your career, but I imagine it's a very difficult thing to do, especially at this level, to trust it, to trust the changes.
Even the smallest changes are difficult. Cohn was the guy that stepped on campus, and you knew he'd be a good defensive shortstop. Seemed like more of a gap-to-gap hitter, not really a power hitter. You mentioned plenty of extra base for this young man this season.
That one is lifted to deep left. Charging it, Packard ends up in rather shallow left field. Heron will try to score the first run and does so easily as the throw is cut off. Litton cuts it off just in front of Washer, and the Blue Devils take a 1-0 lead. So a job well done that time by Cohn to score the run from third with less than 2 away. Blue Devils get on the board with a sacrifice fly.
Duke is a team only hitting .263, but situational hitting gets it done. When you don't have big offensive numbers, you've got to hit in situations. We saw the perfectly executed hit and run to move the runners to first and third, and then right there, a ball lifted to the left field, good enough for a sacrifice fly off the bat of Zach Cohn.
Don't have to hit it too far into the outfield for Heron to score from third. Proctor, aggressive base running. That one didn't get far away from Washer at all. And his counterpart, Chris Proctor, gets to second base, and now a runner in scoring position with Jack Lebowski at the plate. Lebowski with 25 RBIs coming into today. It's been a heads-up half inning for the Blue Devils. The hit and run well executed. The sacrifice fly taking the extra base here as Lebowski swings through that one.
Very impressive by Chris Proctor to swipe that bag. Usually when the ball is not in the dirt, base runners at first, second, no matter where you are, you assume the catcher is going to catch it, unless it's a block situation.
The throw in behind Proctor.
But Proctor doing a good job there, not assuming anything, watching the ball into the glove. It popped out of the glove of Jake Washer, and Proctor now in scoring position.
Brady Lloyd. Jake Agnos. Good communication there. Proctor able to get back safely, and now it's 1-1 to Lebowski. Excuse me, foul. Agnos a strike away from an important strikeout here with 1 away and a runner in scoring position.
Interesting to me that when Jimmy Heron was on first base, Agnos never showed him his left-handed pickoff move to first. Instead, waited till just then with Proctor out at second to do the spin move. Proctor sliding back in safely. So Duke still has not seen Agnos' best move, pickoff to first base.
Play is on one more time. Proctor back safely. Not often you see that play twice.
ECU very aware that Proctor has some speed, wants to get to third base with one out. Perhaps a good time to swipe a bag and score on an out, as they did earlier in this inning with the sacrifice fly.
Big gap between first and second if Lebowski's able to take one the other way. Swung on and fouled away. Still 1-2.
ECU working Lebowski very smart. You mentioned the gap out in the 4-hole at second base. However, they're jamming Lebowski in on his hands, trying to get him to pull something to the left side of the field. A ground ball to the left side that's kept in front of the Pirate defense would allow Proctor to stay at second base as he's looking to advance. So working the big Blue Devil right-hander hard in.
The 1-2. That one is lifted high and fairly deep to left center. Drifting back, Packard to make the play, and there's 2 away. Take a look at the East Carolina defense. We've already called Packard's name a couple of times. It's Henriksen in center, Williams Sutton in right, Litton, Brown, Lloyd, and Burleson third to first, Washer in behind the plate. Mentioned how excellent the Pirates are defensively. .984 fielding percentage, just 23 errors this year in 35 games played. That brings up Joey Loperfido, batting .331, leading the team in batting average in his first year on campus. Loperfido takes a ball. Also leads Duke in RBIs, slugging percentage, on-base percentage. He has made an impact here early. Played a great defensive first base as well. .1-0 breaking ball, misses. 2-0. Coach Pollard saying they weren't exactly sure where Loperfido would fit in defensively, but he's found a home at first. Played shortstop in high school. Right near that top 10 in the ACC in batting average. Currently in 11th. Swung on and missed. Zagnos throws one by the first baseman. 2-1 the count. Loperfido looking for a 2-out RBI, hitting .263 on the season with 2 away. Swung on and missed.
The East Carolina infield playing Loperfido dead pull. Turner Brown, the shortstop, actually playing on the second base side of the bag, holding the runner on second base. That's Chris Proctor. Brady Lloyd, the second baseman, playing deep to the right side of the infield.
2-2 count, 2 away. Just getting a piece was Loperfido to stay alive. Ball rolls all the way back into fair territory nearly. Proctor still at second. Loperfido at this point has to have worked his way well into the ACC Freshman of the Year conversation. Off speed, staring at strike 3. And Agnos gets out of it, surrenders a run in the process. Jimmy Herron scores his 16th first inning run of the year. When we come back, Litton, Williams, Sutton, and Brown for the Pirates. 1-0 Duke as we head to the top of the second. Bill Chilleri back out on the mound. An inning of work, a walk, 2 strikeouts. Only had to throw 13 pitches. First batter he'll have to deal with is Connor Litton. Litton batting .299 on the season. Chilleri and others benefiting from the arrival of Dusty Blake, the pitching coach for Duke. Coach Chris Pollard, extremely complimentary of what he has been able to do with that staff in such a short amount of time. As Litton ahead in the count, 1-0. Duke leading 1-0 as the Pirates try to mount a comeback here. That one is lifted foul. ECU has only lost one series all year, but it was their most recent series. South Florida winning 2 of 3. The Pirates well positioned for yet another regional appearance. As Litton swings and misses, and a ball likely out of the zone. Would be 29 regionals and 15 of 20 if East Carolina were to make it again this year, which presumably they will. Litton behind in the count, 1-2. Hammers that one foul. First time that anybody's really squared one up against Chilleri. So just a loud strike.
Chileri's done a great job mixing up his pitches to this ECU offense. He's throwing everything for a strike. We've seen his two-seam fastball. We've seen his changeup. We've seen his slider. He's leading off hitters with that slider. So a lot of confidence in those 3 pitches early here for Chilleri.
A 1-2. Sent towards center. Taking a step or 2 back, but then able to track it down in plenty of time. Kenny Taylor, 1 away. You played in this ballpark, Ron. You really have to hit one for it to get anywhere close to the fence.
That's right, and since then they've actually moved that fence up a little bit, and for whatever reason here, the ball just doesn't seem to carry. It carries to right field better than left, but center field, it takes a real man to put one over that 400 sign. I've seen a lot of well-hit balls come up short to the warning track.
Well, you can hear the crowd reaction to that one, and it was just a mild, at the end of the day, fly ball into center field. William Sutton fouls that one away. William Sutton just getting back into the lineup, dealt with wrist tendonitis for quite a while. Returned for the series opener against Washington and immediately had a couple of hits and a home run, batting .330 for his career. So Coach Cliff Godwin happy to have him back in the lineup. This is start number 15 for Williams Sutton on the year. Chilleri working ahead of yet another batter. Even Washer, who walked, Chilleri was well ahead. Tap towards second. Miller is there. And there's 2 away. Max Miller is sure-handed as it gets, the 2-time captain. Career game number 197. Max Miller.
Max Miller did a good job there playing the hop on that ball. Coming off the turf, he took a step back and played the long hop. On most dirt situations, you would charge that ball and take the long hop away for something unexpected. Obviously, the turf here at Jack Coombs Field, a little more predictable.
First pitch to Turner Brown misses. Yeah, I think that one was a classic case of how differently he would have played that on grass and natural dirt versus this surface. The count evens at 1-1. You can see the turf there. Even around the bases, there is turf. A lot of times you'll see the natural dirt. Not the case here at Jack Coombs Field. 1-1 is swung on and missed. Seen a lot of those types of swings today so far against Chilleri. He's got the Pirates off balance.
Chilleri does a great job hiding the ball out of his hand. His release point is hard to pick up, so fastball to change up to slider, very difficult to tell until the last minute, and the ECU offense is making that very obvious thus far in this game.
Missing on the 1-2 pitch as Brown works the count even. Around 213 on the season. His only extra base hits are home runs. Has 2 of those. And the 2-2. High, 3-2. Full count pitch, lifted into the air. Conine chasing it down in right, settles under it, and that'll do it for the Pirates in the top of the second. None across as Chilleri throws 2 shutout innings, Taylor, Miller, and Conine, and will try to add to a 1-0 lead for the Blue Devils. Midweek action here at Jack Coombs Field on ACC Network Extra. Back with the start of the bottom of the second as Agnos misses on that first offering to Kenny Taylor. What a Saturday Kenny Taylor had. A triple and a home run in the 9th and 11th innings respectively to help Duke win both games. The second game out of 2 against Florida State. The Sunday game canceled. That one lifted high into center field. Easily handled by Henriksen. The leadoff batter is retired for Duke. Here in the bottom of the second.
Good job attacking by Jake Agnos. Then a high fastball. Kenny Taylor dropped his hands, just couldn't quite get up to catch up to that high heat and popped it up to center field for the first out here in the bottom of the second.
Max Miller went yard in Tallahassee, just like Taylor. Miller batting .261 on the season. Known more for his glove than his bat, but a very capable hitter as well. Has a knack for clutch hits. Swings through that one, though. Count evens at 1-1. Fouled away, and it's 1-2.
Max Miller's a good 2-strike hitter, gets his foot down early, shortens his swing, just looks to put the ball into play, never tries to do too much when he has 2 strikes.
The 1-2 misses, 2-2. Griffin Conine waits on deck. The count is full with 1 away. Sent towards second. Nice charging play that time. Ended up being well in time as Lloyd charges hard and makes the throw. 2 away. 2 second basemen flashing the leather in the early stages here. So in steps Griffin Conine. Massive expectations coming into this year.
Griffin Conine.
Average at .215, does have 7 home runs to go along with 7 doubles and a triple. Conine takes a strike. He started to cut down on the strikeouts a bit. He's played a great defense in right. He's been a fantastic teammate even through the struggles at the plate. That's why in Coach Pollard's words, it's been easy to put him in the lineup every day. Has not let his hitting affect any other part of who he is or how he plays. That one misses. And it's 2-1.
Coach Pollard, when asked about Conine's slow start, says that for his team, he de-emphasizes batting average, something you don't hear very often, but he focuses on OPS, on base percentage plus slugging. And that's a stat that rewards hitters for not only reaching base but hitting for power. That's something Conine has done a great job of this year. He's only hitting .215 as you mentioned, but great power numbers, 7 doubles, a triple, 7 home runs, 24 RBIs. So average not where he wants it to be, but again, Coach Pollard focusing on that OPS.
Strike 3 taken. Agnos puts a 0 on the board. And his offense will get back to the plate. Burleson, Henriksen, and Packard as the Pirates try to tie it up here at Jack Coombs Field. Back in Durham, where the hometown Blue Devils lead East Carolina 1-0. The singular hit thus far, it was off the bat of Chris Proctor, really a seeing eye ground ball into the 6-hole to put the hit and run on in the bottom of the first. Executed it to perfection. Sacrifice fly scored Jimmy Herron. And that is how we've arrived at this 1-0 Duke lead. Alec Burleson steps to the plate. .219 batting average on the season. And that one is into right field. First hit of the day for East Carolina. And the Pirates have the leadoff man on here in the top of the third. Drew Henriksen due up next.
First hit surrendered from the arm of Chilleri, and that one looked like it was left up in the zone a little bit. Proctor going up to get it. Left right around the belt where a good hitter likes a good pitch to be, and turning on that one, Alec Burleson for the first hit of the night for the Pirates.
Burleson had his appendix taken out a few weeks ago, so just starting to get reacclimated. Now leads off first. Pirates going small ball. A great bunt. Chilleri forced to field his position. Fires to first in time. What a play to get the speedy Drew Henriksen one away. But the runner advances to second. A great play there by Chilleri.
Great job fielding his position. And we mentioned the pitching and defense. Both of these teams come into this game. Strong pitching performances, strong defensive performances. Another look at the sac bunt, perfectly placed. That's like a bunt for a base hit position. That's not just giving yourself up, that's giving yourself a chance.
Saw the speed of Henriksen. A step away from an infield single. Instead, Bryant Packard to the plate. Struck out in the first, but a chance now with a runner in scoring position. Swinging or otherwise, strike called.
2 at-bats now for Packard. Chilleri started both of these at-bats to this young man with breaking ball.
Packard batting nearly .500 with runners in scoring position this year. So you end up with 32 RBIs in 35 games.
A small ball here for both of these teams early tonight. Duke got it done with a hit and run and the sacrifice fly to score in the bottom of the first, and now East Carolina gets a runner on with a single, a sacrifice bunt, now a runner in scoring position with their leading hitter at the plate.
That one misses, 2-1.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Shadows creeping across the infield. Lloyd waits on deck. Burleson has only attempted a single stolen base this year. Was successful in that attempt. 2-1 the count on Packard. Swung on and missed as Chilleri goes with the breaking pitch in a hitter's count.
Chilleri with nothing to lose. First base is open. Packard the best hitter on this ECU team. Perhaps a walk puts him on, puts the double play in order, but Chilleri obviously showing that he's going to attack Packard with his pitch, which right there was a breaking ball.
The 2-2. Packard leaves the elbow out. And that's exactly what you were talking about earlier, Ron. It's off the elbow. Clearly didn't try to get out of the way of it. And the home plate umpire says, stay right here. Call was made right away. Obviously, Coach Godwin will have a few words with the home plate umpire.
Packer stance in general. He leaves that lead elbow, left elbow kind of up and over the plate. And right there again, just didn't make a good enough effort to get out of the way. In fact, may have leaned into it a little bit. We'll take another look. There he is, and he just kind of froze, didn't make an effort. He's got that pad there, so obviously there's going to be no pain involved, and just as frozen as he could be, didn't make an effort to get out of the way. You see, there it is at the last minute, a little bit of a lunge into it.
That's a great look there. The production crew perfectly illustrates the point. It is a ball, so 3-2 the count, but Packard still in the batter's box. And then waves at strike 3. So from first and second with one away, now 2 outs here in the top of the third. ECU fans in the house don't like it, but it appeared to be the right call.
They didn't get the benefit of the super slow motion. There's another look at the strikeout pitch. What a slider, starting in, breaking down and away. Very difficult to pitch to hit, especially lefty on lefty matchup.
So now it's Lloyd who flew out in the first. It's up to him to drive in the run with 2 away. Off and running. Mentioned just 1 attempted steal on the season, but perhaps Duke lulled to sleep by the lack of the perceived running game at second, and Burleson in easily at third now. 2 for 2 on the season in stolen bases, and now doesn't necessarily take a hit. Wild pitch suddenly becomes very dangerous here. The 1-0. That one bounces toward Proctor, but he blocks it.
Great job behind the plate by Proctor. That one bounced so far out in front of the plate that it's a little bit difficult to judge how that breaking ball is going to spin off of the turf. Proctor got his chest protector on it. Not only did he block it, he kept it right in front.
So Proctor goes out to have a conversation with Chilleri. Second straight year that Proctor's been named to the Johnny Bench Award watch list for his work behind the plate. Pirates 90 feet away from tying this one. Lloyd swinging 2-0, fouls that one away. Lloyd a .394 hitter with runners in scoring position, but just a .188 hitter with 2 outs. 2-1, swung on and missed.
Great changeup from Chilleri. He does a great job with, he has the same arm speed on his changeup as his fastball, just a different grip. Arm speed of a fastball, but comes out of the hand, kind of feathers it, and it tails away from a right-handed hitter.
The 2-2, way outside, 3-2.
Reach back for a little extra on that one and never really got his hand out in front of his body. Hung it up and outside, following the changeup with a hard fastball there.
Full count, 2 away, runner on third. Chilleri deals and Lloyd fouls it away.
This feels like a big spot for the Pirates offense. We're early in this game, only the top of the third, but Duke has manufactured one. ECU trying to do the same here with the 2-out knock.
The 3-2. Lifted towards center again. Taylor a couple of steps back, now having to charge it hard. Using the speed and eventually makes the play rather casually. Duke 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the third here in Durham. .38 pitches through 2 innings for Jake Agnos. Michael Smickless due up for the first time this evening to begin the bottom of the third for Duke. Then it's Heron and Proctor after that. Cone, if anybody reaches. Smiklis, a guy who had an outstanding fall, did not play well in the preseason. Actually sort of dropped him into a platoon situation, but he's earned his way back into the lineup as the everyday DH. Swings through that first pitch. Agnos has settled in. Only gave up the 1 run in the first and has been lights out since. One and one the count. Talking to Coach Godwin, Agnos threw to a couple of hitters on Sunday. Power pitcher, high 80s, low 90s, but says that stuff feels harder to the batter. The way he throws it, stuff plays up to maybe mid 90s feel. Good breaking stuff. 4 shutout innings with 6 strikeouts in his last start. That was against Elon. Now the 2-2 pitch to Smiklis. Strike 3. Third strikeout of the evening for Agnos.
Agnos has certainly found his rhythm. You mentioned his fastball seems like it's faster than it really is. There's a well-located fastball down at the knees of Smiklis. Looks like on the outer third of the plate. Definitely too good to take with 2 strikes, but good job behind the plate there framing that pitch by Jake Washer.
So Heron, who was hit by a pitch in the first and eventually came around to score, batting for the second time. The 0-1 from Agnos. Misses 1-1. Heron was your example, Ron, of what to do when you're going to be hit by a pitch in order to be awarded first base.
Just use the shape of your body. When you turn that front shoulder in, you're really not getting any further from the ball in terms of relative to the plate.
Lifted down the right field line. Nicely played in right field. William Sutton closes his glove on it and falls into the fence. 2 away.
Down at first base, Alec Burleson doing a great job running down the right field line, giving William Sutton an idea of how far he was from the fence. Sutton hit the warning track, which also is turf here at Jack Coombs Field, and put his left hand out for the fence and made a nice catch.
That ball carried fairly well down the right field line. Proctor to the plate. 1 for 1 on the evening with a single. Breaking ball misses 1-0. Proctor with hit number 38 of the season. Bounces toward Washer, and it's 2-0 to the Duke catcher.
2 breaking balls in a row, miss from the arm of Agnos, and the biggest difference we've seen between him and Chilleri, the starter for the Blue Devils, Chilleri's had much better control of that breaking ball. Pirates offense has had to respect that, where Duke is more sitting dead red fastball. Agnos unable to control that breaking ball and throw it over for a strike in the zone.
Proctor swings through that one in the count. 2-1. Fouled away, and the count evens at 2-2. .50 pitches plus now for Agnos. Through 2 2/3 innings. Neither bullpen warming, as you might expect. The 2-2 sent towards center by Proctor. Henriksen elects to let that one drop in front of him. Thought for a second about diving for it. Goes the safe route, and Proctor's 2 for 2.
So many hitters at this level, even the successful hitters, are one-dimensional, and by that I mean they like to hit it to one side of the field or the other. A right-hander likes to hit the inside pitch to left field, likes to hit the pitch over the middle to left field, likes to pull the outside pitch more towards the center of the field. Proctor can take any pitch, any direction, We saw him go the other way in the first inning right there. Caught one off the end of the bat towards center. A very well-balanced hitter is Chris Proctor, the catcher for the Blue Devils.
Agnos over to first. Proctor took second on a wild pitch earlier in the game. 10 for 11 in stolen bases on the season. We'll see if he's off and running with 2 outs. Try to get a runner in scoring position for Cone, who swings at that pitch and fouls it down the right field line. Sacrifice fly and an RBI. Cone responsible for the only run for either team. There's the move to first, and there's the out. Ron, you were waiting to see the best move from Agnos, and I think you just saw it. Spectacular stuff from the starting pitcher for East Carolina, and that'll do it for the bottom of the third. There's another look. Proctor too far off first base, leaning the wrong way. Perfect execution, and the Pirates are out of the inning. Back with the top of the fourth next. Back here in Durham, where the Blue Devils lead East Carolina 1-0. A battle of top 11 teams, according to at least one poll. You need 2 hands to count all of the polls that are used to rank teams in college baseball. As you look at the USA Today Baseball Coaches Poll, there is Duke at number 8. You mentioned Florida already, Ron, the only other team with 30-plus wins in America, 32-6. The top-ranked Gators. Duke hosting NC State. We'll have that series for you on ACC Network Extra later this week. 8 versus 4. East Carolina on the second page of the leaderboard, if this was a golf tournament. At number 11, Pirates having another terrific year. You said it before we even came on the air today. They love their baseball in Greenville. Pirates bringing a number of fans to the ballpark today. That one lifted into a dangerous area. Miscommunication between 3 fielders, Conine, Taylor, and Miller. Nobody made a play on the ball. And Washer, for the second time, reaches base. See how that one is scored.
Not a play you'd expect to see from a top 10 defensive fielding team in the country. There you see Kenny Taylor and Conine coming in from his position in right. And that ball was hit high enough that it should have been called. It looked like both guys just kind of thought the other was going to get there first, and nobody made it to that pop fly.
Sholari sends it over to first. It looked like Miller was headed out from second, and as soon as he stopped running for the ball, that's when things started to fall apart. Don't know if Conine expected Miller to make that play. Either way, the communication lacking, and a runner on to lead off the top of the fourth. Brickhouse struck out looking in the first inning. Get the sense, Ron, this is not the game that you want to give away bases in. Does not seem like we're headed toward a very high-scoring affair here. 1 or 2 runs may make all the difference.
Brickhouse showed there. Looked like ECU may choose to sacrifice again. Instead, he chose to slash, pulled it back, and fouled it off to the left side.
The 0-1. Off the plate, 1-1. Washer on the season has not attempted a steal. Of course, a second ago we said Burleson had only tried 1, and he stole third easily. Shadows covering the playing surface for the most part now at Jack Coombs Field. The 1-1 to Brickhouse. Off speed, lifted into the air. Cone and Lebowski giving chase. Cone this time calls for it clearly. Washer retreats back to first, and there's one away.
Knowing the Blue Devils probably made a miscue in right center field on that Jake Washer swing that was ultimately scored a single. Cone making no doubt about calling that one loudly. I could hear him from the booth here, yelling, "I got it, I got it." Clear communication there from the Blue Devils defense making the adjustment.
So 1 out. Connor Litton to the plate, flew out in the second. Proctor blocks that one. Batting average for Litton hovering right around 300. And the 1-0. In for a strike, 1-1.
Backdoor breaking ball there from Chilleri, and the Pirate faithful here in Durham did not like that call. Probably was a little bit outside, but either way, caught the edge there, and that'll even the count.
The 1-1. That one gets away from Proctor, and Washer's going to end up at second base. So Washer has just sort of worked his way to second. Sky-high pop fly that isn't caught. And then that one bounces away from Proctor. He advances to second on the wild pitch. Washer probably wondering how he's at second base right now, but he'll take it.
It's the small things in this game between these two teams that are going to make the difference offensively. And you mentioned Washer fortunate to be at second base. We'll see if ECU can capitalize in a game where runs seem to be hard to come by.
So suddenly a single may tie this game. Litton fouls that one away, and it's 2-2. Chilleri over 50 pitches now. William Sutton, who made the nice catch down the right field line in the bottom of the third, is on deck. The look back to second, but no throw from the Duke lefty.
The inside move there from Chilleri, just trying to catch Washer, maybe getting a good secondary, or perhaps trying to steal third and make it to third base with less than 2 outs, score on an out, but Washer staying put there at second base.
2-2 pitch, and the count is full.
Very similar to that breaking ball earlier in this at-bat that was called a strike. That one a little bit lower, did not catch the strike zone.
First base is open. Chilleri has shown he's confident enough to throw off-speed pitches in hitters' counts. See what he elects to do here, 3-2. First time is called, though.
The communication between Chilleri and Proctor taking a little longer than normal with the runner out at second base, going through a sequence of signs to make sure the Pirates aren't communicating the pitch from second base to the hitter.
Litton, one of 4 East Carolina hitters in the lineup today with 20-plus RBIs. The 3-2 pitch, hammered toward left, down the left field line. That's going to tie it at 1. Extra bases for Litton as Heron tracks it down at the wall. Litton got all of that one. And Washer, who reached on a defensive miscue and found his way to second on a wild pitch, scores easily to tie this one at 1.
Another look at the swing there off the bat of Connor Litton. A hard line drive down the left field line. Chasing it to the fence is Jimmy Heron. ECU is going to bring their first run across, and Litton earlier in this game in the second put a good swing on a ball, hit it out hard towards center field, got a little bit under it, but he sure straightened that one out. That was a hard hit line drive as he picks up the RBI down the left field line.
First movement in either bullpen now. Slipping off second base was Litton. He was dead to rights. If Duke had elected to throw to second base, but luckily for him, Chilleri deals it toward home. Duke lefty ahead 0-1.
On that previous pitch, it looked like Litton may have been headed for third, trying to swipe a base, reach third base with less than 2 outs. We mentioned that a couple times. And instead slipped and held up at second.
Second might be Bryce Jarvis warming up down the left field line for Duke.
Duke battery has really slowed down communicating these signals. We've seen a couple of Pirates call timeout in the batter's box.
Chilleri sets and deals. The 0-1 is in there for a strike, 0-2. Can sense the emotion in this one building. I think both programs realize what this opportunity this is in the midweek. There's an NCAA tournament feel to it. Tension here just in the top of the fourth. The 0-2. Throw to third. It's by Lebowski. So the defense has let the Blue Devils down a bit here in the top of the fourth. Litton comes around to score. Second time we've seen the Pirates take third base. Must have seen something on the scouting report against Chilleri, and that time it amounts to a run after the error.
Chilleri has not shown the ability to make a good pickoff move to second base. All he does is the inside move. After a while, a good offense picks up on that. There's a look at the errant Proctor throw. Lebowski not able to knock it down. Proctor probably should have held on to that one. He got such a good jump, did Litton, out at second base that there was just no way that Proctor was going to catch him stealing at third. Tried to rush his throw, and it ended up in left field.
Yeah, I was a little surprised, actually, that Proctor did throw it. So the error charged to Chris Proctor. It's the first error of the season on Proctor. 2 here in the top of the fourth for the Pirates, and now a seeing-eye ground ball into right. All the little things going the way of the Pirates here in this half inning, and ECU does a nice job taking advantage.
Momentum is an amazing thing. ECU really having trouble with Chilleri early in this game, and a few Duke mistakes. All of a sudden their offense has a lot of momentum. There's a good look at the opposite field single by William Sutton. Does a good job just staying with that pitch, driving it into the 4-hole to the right side.
Pirates have taken the lead with 2 runs. Really only one hard hit ball that I can remember off the bat of Litton. 4 hits in total now for East Carolina. Jarvis continues to warm for Duke. Squaring around to potentially bunt Turner Brown, who flew out in the second inning. There's a look at Jarvis.
Wouldn't be surprised here to see William Sutton in motion. He's 6 for 6 on stolen bases this season. ECU has so much momentum in this half. Getting him to second with less than 2 outs would be a huge boost for the Pirates offense. Everything seems to be going their way, so why not?
Also, Proctor with that recent throwing error. Wonder if the Pirates want to test that arm again. The 0-1. I think Duke is thinking the same thing you were.
You see Chilleri's long, slow move to first base. Sometimes when you have a left-hander with a long, slow move, the base stealer will just go on first motion, and whether he goes to the plate or he throws the pick off to first, you're just trying to beat the relay throw to second.
There goes William Sutton. Proctor down to second base. Better throw that time, but an even better slide. William Sutton is at second base. 7 for 7 now on the season in stolen bases.
Well done all the way around. William Sutton with the great jump there. Proctor with a good throw. Here's another look at the slide. Hooks a little bit to the outside, and Cone unable to get his glove on it. There's no look at the throw from Proctor. If anything, you'd say it was slightly low, but that's where it had to be. Sutton just did a better job beating him to the bag.
Count is 0-2 to Brown. That one misses. It's a nice job by William Sutton, too. We see a lot of players on this turf skid past the base if they're not used to playing. Again, most times you see dirt around the base paths, much slower surface. Sutton able to keep the hand, brought the shin onto the bag as well to ensure that he wasn't tagged out after the fact. And now he's in scoring position. The 1-2. Seen two different ECU base runners try to take third. You wonder if William Sutton will do the same. Get the sense this is just a get-out inning for Duke. If they can somehow survive the top of the fourth here with the score as it is, that'll be a bit of a minor win for them. Pirates have to feel like they've got Duke on the ropes right now.
That's right. Duke got off to the good start, and all of a sudden ECU is out hitting the Blue Devils 4-2. We've seen Duke commit one error at least this half inning, and perhaps a couple of mental mistakes. Chalk it up to that, a throwing error by Proctor, a miscommunication out in right center field, and it's the game of inches. You've got two top 15 teams competing, and the smallest margin of error comes into play between these two. Another look at that inside move. Chilleri apparently just not comfortable with the back step turn move and the quick pick throw. He likes the long leg kick turn to the inside, and East Carolina well aware that that's his go-to move to second base.
You mentioned the errors, just one official error, but I think the Duke coaching staff will think of that miscommunication as an error as well. William Sutton hung up. Duke trying to execute the rundown. Chilleri chasing William Sutton back towards second. And there's two away. So ECU going to the well one too many times on that second to third steal attempt. Chilleri just held the ball.
Good example of an inside move becoming effective. Picked up the front leg, spun to the inside. Runner was obviously in motion. Duke doing a good job executing the rundown. Rundown seems like a pretty simple play until you get a very speedy base runner in the case of William Sutton.
You wonder if East Carolina may have let Duke off the hook there just a bit, running into an out. Being aggressive from second to third is what helped them get this lead, no doubt. But it would have been a 3-1 game. Extra bases as Conine doesn't play the angle correctly. Brown is into second with a stand-up double. So you can play the what-if game all day long. We've seen both sides really here in the top of the fourth. Leave some meat on the bone.
ECU trying to move a runner there to score with an out. Instead, here comes a double off the bat of Turner Brown, and you mentioned it, Conine overran that one. Rather than playing the spin on the ball off a right-handed hitter to opposite field, it's always going to hit and bounce to the right. Conine with the over pursuit. Probably lucky Brown didn't end up with a triple in that scenario.
So here's Burleson, singled in the third. Very interesting top of the fourth inning. Duke probably thinking that they should already be out of this inning. The Pirates probably thinking they should have a bigger lead than they do right now. Both sides will look back to this portion of the game, depending on how this one ends up, and wonder what could have been. Chilleri about to deal his 65th pitch. Lifted into left center. Taylor trying to track that one down. He'll have plenty of room, and that'll do it for the top of the fourth. So damage done, lead taken for East Carolina. Cone, Lebowski, and Loperfido will try to tie it back up as the Blue Devils trail for the first time this evening. Agnos starting Cone off with a ball here in the bottom of the fourth. That one's in for a strike. Before the game, it was suspected that Agnos would be on somewhat close to a 60-pitch count, but nobody warming for the Pirates. With Agnos dealing, That makes a whole lot of sense. 2-1 the count. And the 2-1. Swung on and fouled away as the count evens at 2-2. Looping breaking ball. Got away from Agnos. Count is full at 3-2 as the Pirate fan base can be heard loud and clear. Full count pitch, misses, and Cohn draws the leadoff walk. So just what the doctor ordered for Duke. Try to respond to a top of the fourth that saw the Blue Devils surrender the lead. Right back at it for a team that Chris Pollard said to us can really win in a lot of different ways. They've proven it to themselves. They don't get rattled in really any situation. Duke has trailed quite a bit this year, actually, but found ways to win a number of important conference games. That delivery is high. That was an extended inning in the top of the fourth. Agnos sitting for quite a while. You wonder if he's a little cold, headed back out to the mound. You've been in that position before.
You always like to see your offense putting up runs, give you a little protection, but the opposite side of that is you're on the bench, your arm is tightening up. I didn't see him get up and make any throws. That was a pretty lengthy top of the fourth, as you mentioned.
Jack Lebowski struggled a bit at the start of the season. Coach Pollard saying he wasn't as aggressive as he needed to be at the plate, found himself in a lot of two-strike counts because he was passing up good pitches early on in his at-bats. Hasn't done that as much lately. Still been a bit unlucky. That batting average on balls in play a bit low. That tends to mean you're getting a bit unlucky, but Pollard pleased with the approach as of late. The 1-0 to the Duke third baseman is in for a strike. Going on the season 5 for 5 in stolen bases. Both of these teams run the base paths very well. Fouled straight back.
The unique thing I see about this Duke team, they're number 8 in the country. We've mentioned the great year they've had, great job done by Chris Pollard, and you got Jack Lebowski and Griffin Conine, 2 offensive leaders for this team traditionally, having slow starts. Duke only hitting .263. You just know these 2 guys are going to become active late in the season for this Duke offense.
Breaking pitch misses. And it's 2-2.
So you wonder if Duke has done this well so far, if these 2 guys can catch fire, how far, what is their ceiling late in this season? 2 very good hitters that could come alive at any time.
We've already seen how good Agnos' move can be to first. You know Duke is paying attention. That move is good for, what, a half step, 3/4 step, shortened lead?
Absolutely. Kind of takes the 45-degree angle when he picks up his front leg. Tough to tell. Is he going to the plate? Is he coming to first? Very difficult pitcher to steal second base off of.
The 2-2. Lebowski fights that one off, almost hit him. Clearly crossed up on that one. Cone has a front row seat for that pickoff move. The 2-2 towards short. Opportunity to double play. Lebowski running down the line hard. Throw is not going to be in time. Fairly well hit. But falling away from second base was Lloyd. I don't think he got as much on the throw as he would have liked. So just one away.
Most likely that feed from Turner Brown left Lloyd with no choice but a weak throw to first base. We'll take another look. Here's Lebowski. Another look at the swing. Kind of caught him in on the hands. Little chopper down to shortstop, and we'll see the feed. here from Turner to Lloyd. Lloyd having to extend away from the first base bag, had no momentum behind that throw.
Loperfido in the batter's box, struck out looking in his last at bat, swears to bunt, and takes a ball. Lebowski at first now. Taylor waits on deck. Throw to first. Lebowski back in time. Loperfido ahead in the count. 1-0. Another throw to first from Agnos. Lebowski right on the edge. That's about as big a lead as he can get without putting himself in trouble.
Lebowski not necessarily a threat to steal. Perhaps Agnos there trying to figure out if Loperfido is going to square back around to bunt.
Doesn't do it that time and takes a ball instead, so it's 2-0.
Down at third base, Connor Litton playing right on the cut, perhaps expecting the sacrifice. Rest of the Pirate infield shifted for pull.
Swinging away 2-0 and lifting that one into left. Packard settles underneath it, and there's 2 away here in the bottom of the fourth.
The East Carolina defense playing Loperfido for pull. I mentioned that. Second base, Brady Lloyd playing far to the right of the 4-hole. Turner Brown playing right behind second base. Interestingly enough, with the defense shifted to the right, Agnos pitching Loperfido outside. Loperfido pops that one up to left field.
So Taylor steps in. 0 for 1 on the day. Quick throw this time. Agnos has about 4 or 5 different pickoff moves.
The quick step back there, it's a good one to mix in. That's the key to holding good base stealing teams like Duke is. You got to mix your moves up. If you go with the same pickoff move over and over, they will pick up on that over time. There's a look at his best, which is kind of the 3-quarter down the hill. Is he going home? Is he coming to first? Oftentimes you can catch a base runner with that move, even if he's not planning to steal.
Taylor swings through that breaking ball and falls behind in the count 0-1. So Duke gets the leadoff runner on. But no progress since then. Taylor falls behind 0-2. It was a shaky start for Agnos. But since then, he has been lights out. Zeros on the board in the second and third. His next pitch will be his 70th.
These starting pitchers seem to have switched roles. Chilleri was cruising, didn't give up a hit until the top of the third. Now Agnos has really settled in.
The 0-2. That one misses, and it's 1-2. Max Miller waits on deck. Lebowski leads off first. The 1-2 pitch is fouled away as Taylor battles to stay alive.
East Carolina outfield playing extra deep here. Kenny Taylor at the plate trying to keep anything batted to the outfield in front of him that would prevent Lebowski from scoring from first base.
The 1-2 fouled away again. So nice work by Taylor, if nothing else, to make Agnos throw a couple more pitches. Work hard for out number 3. Lights are on now at Jack Coombs Field as the sun continues to set. The 1-2 swung on and driven down the left field line, but foul.
Kenny Taylor putting together a great at-bat. Jake Agnos really settling in for the Pirates. Kenny Taylor trying to drive up his pitch count. Perhaps find some grass in the outfield to move Lebowski around the bases.
Throw back over to first. And once again, the 1-2. Lebowski on the move. That one just misses, and Lebowski will steal the bag. No throw from Washer. 8 steals now and 8 attempts for Lebowski. And a runner in scoring position as Taylor has worked the count even. Very different scenario than just a second ago. The 2-2, that one misses, and it's 3-2. You talked about all the advanced metrics. Sometimes it's not just about batting average. This is one of those quality at-bats that Coach Pollard accounts for in that statistic. As Taylor continues to battle against Agnos with 2 away here in the bottom of the 4th. Full count pitch. Swung on and missed. Agnos gets his man. And ECU moves to the top of the 5th inning with a 2-1 lead. Jake Agnos threw 4, 2 hits, just a single run given up. 4 strikeouts now on the evening as the Pirates look to add to their lead here on ACC Network Extra. Heading to the top of the 5th, East Carolina 2, Duke 1. Bryce Jarvis to the mound for the Blue Devils, 2-0 on the season, a 2.49 ERA. 25 1/3 innings pitched, 7 earned runs, 39 strikeouts to 13 walks, so exactly a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Final line on Chilleri, 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, a walk and 3 strikeouts. Also had a wild pitch. Through 65 pitches, 42 of them for strikes. Wasn't really hit hard. Kind of an awkward top of the 4th for Duke defensively. Did not help out their starting pitcher. Oddly enough, then the Pirates ran into an unnecessary out that cost them a run. So here we are, 2-1, top of the 5th. Henriksen, Packard, and Lloyd due up for the Pirates. Henriksen, a sacrifice in the 3rd, nearly reached on what was a well-located bunt right along the first baseline. Chilleri had to make a nice play off the mound. First pitch from Jarvis misses. Coach Pollard saying Jarvis might have the best swing and miss stuff on the entire staff. Effective to both lefties and righties. Henriksen shows bunt and takes a strike.
Good look at Chris Pollard in the dugout, electing to go with Jarvis as freshman. Does a great job driving the ball down the hill. You see him get his arm up, really push that ball down. That looked to be a changeup. Changes the eye level for the hitter when your ball's not coming in flat and you're got your arm up, driving it down to Proctor's glove. Makes it much more difficult to hit.
The 2-1 pitch. This is 3-1.
That one did not have that down angle. You don't really get your arm out front and drive it down the hill, leave it up. That's what he did there.
And now the 3-1. Misses. A leadoff walk to Henriksen. Henriksen has good speed, just 3 for 5 on the season in stolen base attempts. Senior, though, certainly the ability to take the extra base. Duke has had a bit of trouble controlling the running game this evening for ECU. Hendrickson bluffs the steal. Jarvis delivers a strike.
Good off-speed pitch there from Jarvis. Be interesting to see here if Packard perhaps looks to lay down a sacrifice. He struggled in this game. He struck out twice, though he does have a right-handed pitcher. The matchup advantage in this case.
And Packard sends that one into right field. He's as glad as anybody that Schilleri's out of the game. Back-to-back strikeouts against the Duke lefty. 1-for-1 against Jarvis, and the Pirates have runners on first and second with nobody out. See if they go small ball here with Lloyd.
Leadoff walks kill, and there's an example of Packard taking advantage. The leading hitter for this Pirate offense, he drives one into the four-hole to right field, and advancing up to second base is Hendrickson after he drew the leadoff walk, and Pirates looking to tack on a few more here in the top of the fifth.
So Lloyd steps in, a couple of flyouts against Schilleri. Jarvis has that swing and miss stuff. He would love a strikeout right here. Squaring around to bunt. Jarvis thinks about third and throws it away. Another error for Duke. Another run for East Carolina. And there's runners at second and third with nobody out. Saw Proctor point to third right away, giving direction to his pitcher. Duke electing to go for the lead runner instead of the shore out at first. Not a particularly good bunt by Lloyd. Straight back to the pitcher.
Another look at the bunt, pop right back to the pitcher as you mentioned, and you saw Proctor. Proctor's the only man on the defense that sees the whole field. He saw the base runner. He knew the whole scenario. He elected to try to get the out at third base. Probably would have been a close play. Tough to say if they would have gotten him, but either way, Jarvis hurried his throw, mailed it out to left field, and the Pirates tack on another on the Duke error.
So now ECU with an opportunity to really put a hurt on Duke here in the top of the fifth. Washer at the plate. He's yet to be retired. Walked in the first, singled in the fourth. We'll see what East Carolina elects to do with him.
Very similar to the top of the fourth inning where the Blue Devils just made a few mental errors, made a physical error, and we've seen it here so far. A leadoff walk by the relief pitcher Jarvis, and the Packard single. Hot ECU hitter singles to right field, and that rush throw on the bunt. Duke just uncharacteristically making some mental and physical mistakes in this game, and ECU has capitalized on seemingly every single one.
Uncharacteristic of Duke this year. 2 errors through 4+ innings. And now Washer a chance to break it open here in the fifth. First pitch from Jarvis misses. Count is 1-0. First base is open. But Spencer Brickhouse is on deck. How do you treat this situation?
Plenty of options if you're East Carolina offensively. A fly ball to the outfield results in a sacrifice. You could always do a safety squeeze here, just put something on the ground, play the small ball that we've seen both teams play throughout this game offensively somewhere. If you're Duke, Jarvis has been rattled here early in his outing, and perhaps throwing some breaking balls and hitters counts, and if you give up a walk, you've got a double play in order.
Tap toward third. It's in front of Lebowski. Looks the runner back to third. Across the diamond, 1 away. So Washer does not score the run, and he'll be disappointed with that at bat. Very important out for Jarvis.
Good break there for the Blue Devils. Jarvis made a good pitch. Chopper down to Lebowski. Nowhere Bryant Packard, the ECU runner down at third base, had to go. And a good strong throw across the diamond for Lebowski. Duke fortunate to get that out. And now you have some options if you're the Blue Devils. Brickhouse is at the plate. You can get a little creative pitching to him. If you accidentally walk him, no big deal, double plays in order.
Of course, that brings up Litton, who has hit the ball hard here this evening. Brickhouse swings and misses at that offering. Perhaps Jarvis will have a chance to settle down after getting that first out. More bullpen action for Duke.
I imagine Brickhouse will see a healthy dose of off-speed pitches there. First pitch from Jarvis, a changeup, swung through.
The 0-1. This is 1-1. Looks like it's Graham Stinson, the big lefty, warming for the Blue Devils. Jarvis ahead of Brickhouse, 1-2.
Good sequence so far by Jarvis. Change up away, swung through, slider down and in, missed the strike zone, and there a fastball that paints the outside corner.
A 1-2. Off speed, tap towards second. That'll be good enough for another run. Brickhouse, the RBI ground out. Packard, a round of applause for his teammate. 4-1 ECU here in the fifth.
More small ball situational hitting there. All it took was a ground ball to the right side. We saw the play before, Jake Washer hit a chopper down to third. That's not going to score the run with runners on first and second. You got to use the right side of the field. That's exactly what Brickhouse did, and he picks up the RBI.
In steps Litton, runner at third. Now 2 away. That one's in for a strike. So a 3-run lead now for the Pirates, and Agnos dealing. Let's see what Litton's done on the day. That RBI in the fourth. Toward Jarvis, toward first, and toward the dugout go the Blue Devils, but ECU tacks on 2 more here in the fifth after 2 in the fourth. Pirates ahead by 3 in Durham. Miller, Conine, and Smiglis will try to begin the comeback for Duke. Agnos back out to the mound. East Carolina fans happy with what they've seen from him thus far. 4 innings pitched, just a couple of hits, a singular earned run. That was all the way back in the first. A walk and 4 strikeouts for the left-hander. He'll deal with Miller, Conine, and Smiglis, potentially Heron after that. 76 pitches through 4 innings for Agnos. At this pace, you would think maybe 1 or 2 more innings, depending on how efficiently he can work. Duke will be happy to see him depart this game, I would think, as for the first time we see action in the East Carolina bullpen. Looping breaking ball misses. Count is 1-1. It's 2-1 now. To Miller, grounded out in the second. Hammered right back up the middle, getting a piece of it was Agnos. Oh, and the throw across, pulls the first baseman off the bag. That looked like a sure single into a sure out. Back into a single again, and Duke has the leadoff hitter on here in the bottom of the fifth.
Talk about the small breaks that have made this game what it is so far, and that was another one. Take another look at this swing. Max Miller smoked that ball right up the middle. Bounces right to the Pirate shortstop, Turner Brown, who had a chance at Miller down the first base line. The throw was just wide to the left side of the first base bag. There you'll see Burleson come off the bag just enough, and Miller reaches on the single.
In steps Conine, who struck out in his only other at-bat in the second. It's Gavin Williams warming up for the Pirates. He has touched 100 miles an hour this year. Lefty action as well. 1-1 is the count to Conine. Now 2-1, and Agnos may just be fatiguing a bit here. Up over 80 pitches. The 2-1. Conine sends that one a mile high. Packard in from left, and perhaps a little more interesting than he anticipated, but one away. Now to bring Michael Smickless to the plate. Ryan Ross also getting warm for the Pirates. There you see the righty-lefty combo down the right field line. Big out there for Agnos to retire Conine. Now a throw over to first. Not only to check on Miller, but perhaps to give the bullpen a little extra time to warm up. Off-speed pitch misses for a ball. Smickless struck out looking in the third. Jimmy Herron waits on deck. Count is 2-0.
You get the feeling that if another runner reaches base for the Blue Devils, it'll be the end of Agnos' night. He's done a great job thus far, but he is showing some signs of fatigue.
And misses 3-0. What's the first thing that starts to go? You've been a pitcher, I'm sure, that has fatigued at times.
Usually your legs go, and then after that, you pull your front shoulder a little far, you're wide open, you're moving more rotationally than you are top to bottom. And those are all signs. You start leaving the ball up in the zone, you start pulling it across the zone, you just don't have that finesse, that feel that he had earlier in the game, though he's still doing a good job there. A nice hard strike on the fastball, but especially these midweek starters a lot of times aren't as accustomed to extending late into games as perhaps a weekend starter would be.
This is pitch number 89 for Agnos. The 3-1 to Smickless. Line towards second, the throw across the diamond. In time! Miller is doubled off. Perhaps unlucky at the start of the inning as Miller reaches first base. But the Blue Devils unable to take advantage. Miller one step too far off first. Duke is retired. We're through 5 here at Jack Coombs Field. 4-1 ECU as we head to the top of the 6th. Four to 1 Pirates as we head to the top of the 6th. William Sutton, the leadoff hitter. He looks at a ball. 1 for 2 on the day is William Sutton. Singled in his last at-bat in the 4th inning. Got caught in a rundown between second and third on an attempted steal in that same inning. Otherwise, it would have been a third run for the Pirates. Takes a strike there. The count evens at 1-1. Jarvis back out for a second inning of work. Now 2-1. In for a strike. Harry Swanson in behind the plate this evening. Michael Parnell at first, Randall Doolin at second, Reed Churchill at third.
William Sutton and the man on deck, Turner Brown, a big part of that top of the 4th inning where the Pirates put up 2.
hammered toward left center. Heron giving chase, and it's over his head. Extra bases for William Sutton, at least 2. Looks like he'll stop there. You know that Cliff Godwin is happy to have Dwanye Williams Sutton back in the lineup. And that 6-hole now 2 for 3 on the evening.
Great job extending his hands. You see that breaking ball break out over the plate. Stayed with it nicely. Heron chasing out in left field, not able to get there as it bounces up against the wall in left center. Easy stand-up double for William Sutton, and ECU back at it here in the top of the 6th. They've scored 2 in a row, respectively, top of the 4th, top of the 5th, and now a runner on second, nobody out. We'll see if they try to use small ball to move him around. Turner Brown did double in his last at bat.
Last time William Sutton was on second base, he found himself in a bit of base running trouble. But East Carolina, for the most part, has had a lot of success in between second and third base, earning extra offense, causing problems for Duke defensively. Brown pulls back the bunt and takes a ball.
The bottom of this Pirate offense has done a great job. 6, 7, 8 hitters have over half of their combined hits in this game. William Sutton, Brown, and Burleson, who stands on deck.
The 1-0.
Happens so often. An offense wants to give you an out. Obviously, Turner Brown showing the sacrifice bunt. Jarvis unable to throw a strike. Anytime a team is going to give you an out, even if it does effectively move the base runner, you take the out. Jarvis suddenly behind 2 balls and no strikes. That looked like a strike, but a ball comes in from the Pirate bullpen down right field. No pitch.
When it's going right, it's going right. Pirates avoiding a strike call there. Obviously unintentionally, but nevertheless, it looks like it worked out for the hitter. That one is a strike.
That one painted the outside corner. Great job by Chris Proctor behind the plate. He got his glove beat the ball to the position. Anytime you do that as a catcher, you tend to stiffen it up, give it a little bit of a spring type of effect back towards the center of the plate. Able to get that call. Good job working for his pitcher.
The 2-1 pitch. Bunt gets down. The play is to first this time. Duke takes the out, and there's one away. Successful bunt for Brown. Now Burleson will try to get the run across with less than 2 away.
We saw Duke make an error on a bunt earlier in this game, trying to get the out at third. There, you just got the sense that almost if they thought they had a chance, they were still going to take the easy out. They made 2 throwing errors to third base in this game, and giving them the out there was Turner Brown.
Proctor will go out and have a conversation with Bryce Jarvis as Alec Burleson steps in. Singled in the 3rd, flew out in the 4th, did Burleson. Average at 227 now. Hitting a shade under 300 with runners in scoring position.
The Duke defense is in, meaning all 4 infielders on the cut of the grass. They're looking to cut down the runner at home if William Sutton elects to sprint towards the plate. Most likely William Sutton is going to hold on any ground ball, see it through the infield before he elects to score at the plate. However, Burleson, his job changes when the Duke infield comes in to the cut of the grass. He wants to get a pitch he can drive to the outfield for a sacrifice fly, take these infielders who are playing at the cut out of play.
3 straight lefty batters for the Pirates, and Stinson the lefty. There you go, there's the move. I was wondering if they were just trying to buy a few extra pitches for Graham Stinson the lefty. That looks like it is the case. Burleson, Henriksen, Packard, all lefties due up in a row for the Pirates. That looks to be the end of the outing for Bryce Jarvis as Coach Pollard goes out to have a conversation. Stinson continues to warm in the Duke bullpen down the left field line. No signal yet from the Duke head coach. Ari Swanson makes his way out to the pitching mound, and that is going to do it for Jarvis. It'll be Stinson's ball when we return on the other side of the break. We'll give you the numbers on the big lefty. Jack Coombs Field, East Carolina 4, Duke 1. He started 3 games this year, but he's on in relief today. 3-1 on the season, a 2.20 ERA for Graham Stinson. 28 2/3 innings pitched, just 7 earned runs on the year, 47 strikeouts to 14 walks. Big time swing and miss stuff for a guy that has probably first round ability. Just a sophomore is Stinson. Throwing a lot more strikes this year than he did in his freshman campaign. He comes on with William Sutton at third, Burleson at the plate, Henriksen behind him. 1 away. And Stinson, in a position where Ronnie's got to put up a 0. Let his offense try to find a way through this Pirate pitching staff that has been stingy to say the least this year.
The Duke offense has not been great tonight. They only have 3 hits. They've scored 1 run. That was in the bottom of the first inning. Looked like maybe a good night for the Duke bats, but instead ECU has piled on 4 runs in the last 2 half innings. And you mentioned Duke defense needs to put up a 0. There is no doubt if they're going to crawl back in this game, they've got to stop the bleeding at some point.
You see Burleson taking a look at the Duke lefty. Through his final couple of warm-up pitches. 7 hits for the Pirates today. Burleson has 1 of them, a single in the 3rd, was stranded at 3rd base. Third pitcher of the evening for Duke. First pitch from Stinson is in for a strike.
Duke has a new pitcher on the mound, but their defensive strategy has not changed. Infield still in on the cut of the grass, looking to cut down William Sutton if he elects to head for home on a ground ball.
The 0-1, and that's part of the problem when you have the infield in. Almost impossible, especially on this surface, to get to anything that's not hit right at an infielder. Going the other way with it, Burleson. William Sutton scores the 5th run for East Carolina. Just a really nice piece of hitting that time.
A well-executed pitch by Stinson, down and away. Better piece of hitting, though, by Burleson. Here's another look. You see Proctor reaching down and away for that ball. Might have even missed the strike zone, but he goes down there, gets it, puts it over the 6 hole, picks up the RBI, and now Stinson can clear his mind. Gets the runner off of 3rd base. He does have a runner on first, 1 out. Double play is in order, so a chance to restart for the big man.
That's in for a strike. This has not been a game that East Carolina has made a ton of hard contact in. There's been a couple of well-hit balls, but for the most part, it's been opportunistic. Good small ball, take the extra base, take advantage of the mistake. Well done by the Pirates, who lead by 4 here. And Burleson, with his 2nd stolen base of the evening, came into tonight with 1 on the season.
East Carolina has done a great job tonight knowing when to steal. And by that I mean picking the right pitch. That was a breaking ball. Very tough for Proctor to come up with that breaking ball from the left-handed Stinson, turn his body, make a throw. Wasn't even able to get a throw off. ECU doing a good job being selective, stealing bases.
Count is 1-1 to Henriksen at the plate. Sacrifice bunt in the third, walked in the fifth. Fouled away, and it's 1-2. See that nasty breaking stuff from Stinson.
You can tell by the hesitation of Hendrickson on that swing. Looked like it might have been coming up towards his shoulders, and at the last minute said, wow, this might be a strike. Let me see if I can put the bat on it, and fouled it sharply off to the left side near the Duke baseball batting cages down the left field line. ECU team in the dugout doing a great job helping the runner out at second base, Alec Burleson, read that inside move from Graham Stinson. They were yelling back before I think even Burleson knew he was coming his way. Very alert there in the first base dugout are the Pirates. And again, the game slows as the Pirates have a runner on second base. The Duke battery, Proctor and Stinson, trying to get their signals correct. It's been a trend tonight.
The 1-2. Chop toward first. Loperfido handles it easily and steps on the bag. 2 away. Burleson advances to third.
Big time spot here for the Duke defense. They trail by 4 runs right now. ECU looking to extend that lead to 5. They've got a runner down at third base after that ground ball to first by Hendrickson. ECU could not pick a better man to have at the plate.
See the defensive shift that Duke puts on for Packard. Cone just a step to the shortstop side of second base. Packard takes a strike. Packard struck out twice against Chilleri, singled and came around to score after Jarvis replaced him, and now the lefty Stinson once again. Average right at 400 for the season. Swung on and missed. The count is 0-2. Top of the order due up for Duke in the bottom half of the 6th. Only question now is what will the deficit be? Another timeout called.
Stinson, the left-hander for the Blue Devils, does a great job hiding his arm, hiding his throwing arm, his glove arm, which is his lead arm. Kind of comes a little bit closed. You'll see his shoulder come closed, and then it flies open, and the ball explodes to the plate.
Swung on and missed. The throw down to first to make it official, and that'll do it. In the top of the 6th with the Pirates for the 3rd straight inning score a run, 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th. Duke needs to find some answers offensively. Blue Devils trail by 4. Top of the order due up Heron, Proctor, and Cone.
Sites.
Top of the order, bottom of the 6th. Duke with work to do on offense. Agnos back out there. Ross and Williams certainly warmed up at this point. Coach Godwin electing to stay with Agnos. 89 pitches. Got to figure on the leash is rather short here. As that one misses, and the count is 2-0 to the Duke leadoff hitter.
I imagine Agnos is probably one base runner away from coming out of this game, but he has done a great job battling. As soon as you think he's about done and the Pirates are going to pull the string to the bullpen, he makes a pitch, did a great job with that double play to end the Duke threat in the bottom of the 5th. Line drive out towards short was turned into a double play.
Let's see if Heron's taking here all the way. 3-0. He is, and it's a 4-pitch walk. Just the second walk issued by Agnos this evening. See what Duke chooses to do with Heron at first base. See what East Carolina chooses to do with Agnos on the mound. And if that's the end of the evening for Jake Agnos, what an impressive evening it was. 5+ innings pitched, 3 hits, just a single run given up, and that was all the way back in the first inning. 2 walks, one of them a second ago, 4 strikeouts, did have a wild pitch and hit a batter. But 50 strikes in 93 total pitches. We'll see if pitch number 93 was his last. See the lefty and the righty warm. And the East Carolina fans in attendance standing and applauding the effort of Agnos. Looks like Ryan Ross will come on in relief. We'll give you the numbers on Ross on the other side of the break. Second pitcher for the Pirates set to toe the mound. Heron on first, and Duke trying to come up with 4 runs to tie this one up. Ryan Ross to the mound. Pitched against South Florida on Sunday through an inning and 2/3. Coach Godwin saying he's probably available for an inning this evening. You wonder if it'll be a single batter. Proctor the lefty, then Cone the righty, Lebowski the righty. Gavin Williams is already warm. After Lebowski, it's the lefty Loper Fido, then 2 righties again. So we'll see what Coach Godwin elects to do. Ross on the season, 0-1, but a 1.63 ERA. Just 5 earned runs in 27 2/3 innings pitched. How about this for a strikeout to walk ratio? 29 strikeouts, 4 base on balls. Opponents hitting 179 off the left-hand Concord, North Carolina product. Proctor a couple of singles tonight, has yet to be retired. First pitch swinging, it's a foul ball. Just get the sense, Ron, that Duke needs something to ignite the team. Just hasn't been any momentum plays for the Blue Devils this evening.
Got to wonder if that leadoff walk to Jimmy Heron could be the spark that they needed. The Pirates capitalized on a leadoff walk back in the top of the 5th, and an odd number of times an offense that's struggling can catch some momentum with that free base runner, nobody out.
Interesting to see the rather dramatic shift on Proctor. A guy that has proven he can go the other way, handles the bat pretty well. That 6-hole wide open. Count is 1-1. Perhaps may tell you a little bit about what the pitching plan is to Proctor.
And normally a player that goes opposite field as well as Proctor, if you're going to play him to pull, you're going to pitch him inside. That last pitch, a slider on the outer part, so we'll keep an eye on how Ross attacks Proctor throughout this at-bat.
The 1-1 lifted toward left center, giving Chase Henriksen plenty of speed, plenty of time, and Heron retreats to first.
Proctor just under that one, lift is out towards left center field. Duke's made a high number of fly ball outs in this game, unable to put the ball on the ground, find the holes in the ECU defense.
I know your philosophy, you love put a ball on the ground because it requires 2 people to make a play. You got to field it, you got to throw it, as opposed to just settling under a fly ball.
That's right. Other than a strikeout, a fly ball is the second easiest out to give a defense, and Duke's done that numerous times in this game. Sometimes that can reflect the style of pitching. Guys that have fastballs that jump on you a little quicker than you expect, and the fly ball outs are a result of that.
First pitch to Cone misses. Duke certainly has the firepower to make this deficit up, but it's getting toward the late stages here. Pirates looking to bounce back from a disappointing weekend. What a way to do it this would be, get a top 10 win on the road. That one misses as well. It's 2-0.
This Duke team does seem to find a way. You mentioned the thrilling win they had Saturday night in Tallahassee over Florida State. Late inning drama. Only 1 run tonight on 3 hits. If they can get something going offensively here and close this gap.
I think the running game has really been a story of this one as well. East Carolina has taken extra bases. East Carolina pitchers, Agnos in particular, has just been lethal on the mound with the pickoff. Another throw over.
Ross showing a very similar 3/4 arm angle, 45-degree leg angle, down the line, pickoff move to first base.
The 2-0, in for a strike. Always impressed when a pitcher throws over a couple of times, then is able to come back and throw a strike, refocus. Especially in a 2-0 count. Ross did well there. The 2-1, back over to first again. Here you can see where Herron can bother you as a base runner.
So many times you see a pitcher struggle to throw the ball over the plate or execute a pitch when he's got a speedy runner on base. More worried about the base runner than the batter at times.
Ross deals home, breaking pitch in for a strike. This is impressive from Ryan Ross here, dealing with Herron and Cone at the same time. Counts even at 2-2. Pirates play Cone straight away. 15 steals on the season for Herron. Only been caught once. Sent toward third. On to second for 1. On to first. Double play. Taking an extra peek was Michael Parnell. But the double play is executed by East Carolina, and that'll end the 6th inning. Running hard out of the box. Cone, not in time. Just when it seems like Duke is trying to find some momentum offensively, East Carolina has come up with the pitch, the play on defense. 5-1's the score. Let's show you how we got here. It was the Blue Devils that got a run in the bottom of the first. Looks like for a second as though Agnos was going to struggle a bit here in the midweek. Proctor with the seeing eye grounder on the hit and run. Sacrifice fly scores Jimmy Herron from third, and Duke was off and running. Packard got hit by a pitch but was told to stand in the batter's box. Home plate umpire Gary Swanson didn't think he did enough to get out of the way. Agnos really found his rhythm after that, and that's when the ECU offense started to get going.
East Carolina put up 2 in the top of the 4th, 2 in the top of the 5th, 1 in the top of the 6th. Duke has been unable to stop the Pirates' offensive threat. We've seen a couple of throwing errors down to third base. There's one on the sacrifice bunt. Got away from Jarvis, and ECU scores another one. They're a chopper to second base that'll easily score a run. ECU done a great job situationally hitting in this game, and there's the double play that ended the Duke threat in the bottom of the 6th. Line drive towards short, able to turn that one over, and then look at the hot bats from the ECU Pirates.
A couple of errors for Duke. That left side of the infield defensively has been a nightmare in between second and third. William Sutton caught in the rundown once, but 2 different throws to third, getting away. Defensive miscommunication out in shallow right center field. There's the box score. Impressive outing for Agnos, able to settle down after giving up that run in the first. Stinson back to the mound. Looking to hope to hold down this East Carolina offense that has scored in 3 straight innings. Of course, the Pirates looking for insurance runs. The 1-0, swung on and missed by Lloyd, or perhaps foul tipped, either way a strike. Count is even at 1-1, getting on toward 2.5 hours into this one as we begin the 7th inning. Mentioned the slow pace at times. As the 1-1 is cut on and missed one more time.
Chance for Graham Stinson to really settle in and throw up a 0 for the Blue Devil defense. Stinson, a guy that always pitches from the stretch. He came in the top of the 6th and gave up a quick hit, RBI, to the Pirate offense.
Nasty off-speed stuff. When Stinson is dialed in, it is impressive to watch.
Another look at the off-speed stuff from Stinson. See that slider starts well out in the left-handed batter's box, cuts all the way back across the plate. Too good to take, unable to make contact. Brady Lloyd, and maybe this is the start Stinson needed to throw up a 0 for the Blue Devils. Fresh start to this inning for the lefty out of the bullpen.
You can always tell the kind of stuff a pitcher has by the swings he gets. Very defensive swing that time by Lloyd. Washer has had an interesting evening. Walked in the first after being well down in the count. Reached on what's being called a single to shallow right center in the 4th. That's really where the game started to change. Taylor, Miller, and Conine all looked at times like they were going to be the ones to make the catch, and then nobody did. Washer finds his way to second base after what I believe was a wild pitch. Came around to score. 1 of 2 runs for the Pirates in the 4th. Matched that number in the 5th. An additional run 1 inning later, and that is how ECU has come up with a 4-run lead. Washer holds up his swing, but takes a strike. 1-2 the count.
Stinson looking very sharp thus far in this half inning. A nice fastball painted on the outer half. Chris Pollard obviously giving this game over to Graham Stinson. No action in the Duke bullpen. Looking for his lefty to settle down.
The 1-2. And Washer will reach once again. Several times we've seen East Carolina simply go the other way with the ball. Good hitting for a team that came in batting .287. Another 9 hits today for the Pirates.
Offensively, 2 different approaches from these 2 teams. We've seen how many now singles from the Pirates just through the infield, just ground balls through the infield, perfectly placed. Whereas Duke, on the other hand, making a lot of outs in the air, a lot of pop flies.
Particularly on the turf, putting one on the ground, you've got a real decent shot. Squeezing it through the outfield. It's a 1-0 count now to Spencer Brickhouse. Mentioned the small ball that East Carolina has played at times. Didn't look like Brickhouse went around, and he did not. Brickhouse, a perfect example of that, grounding out to the right side of the infield and driving in a run in the 5th. A guy known last year for his power, doing the little things well.
Coming into this game, we knew we'd see a lot of defense, a lot of good pitching, a lot of small ball. On paper, Duke was the better base stealing team tonight. ECU has proved to be the better base stealing team. An interesting situation here. Stinson very slow to the plate, left-handed hitter, blocking Proctor's view. See if ECU decides to put a runner in motion.
Well, you couldn't have predicted it any better than you did, Ron, except not the result that East Carolina was looking for. Looked like Washer got a pretty good jump, but a better throw from Proctor. And there's 2 away.
Great job by Proctor. Good fastball there by Stinson. A good pitch to throw on to Proctor. I mentioned many times ECU has stolen a base on a breaking pitch. That a fastball that was just in a great place to make a transfer. Perfect throw from the Duke catcher as he catches Washer, trying to steal another bag for the Pirates.
2-2 pitch. Misses, and the count is full. So the Pirates have 4 stolen bases. They've been caught stealing now twice. Aggressive base running all evening long. Full count pitch, swung on and missed by Brickhouse. So Stinson does come up with the 0. Here in the top of the 7th, Lebowski, Loperfido, and Taylor. All 3 batters 0 for 2 thus far in the evening. Stinson the strikeout, but ECU the lead, 5-1 here in Durham. Look at the night sky in Durham. Crystal clear evening. 5-1 lead for East Carolina as Ryan Ross is back out for a second inning of work. Only needed 8 pitches, to get 3 outs. That one misses and it's 2-0. Lebowski, Loperfido, and Taylor. Righty, lefty, righty for Duke. 2-0 pitch, misses 3-0. A couple times tonight, Duke has gotten the leadoff runner on. Just haven't been able to do much. I think some of that is the way that Agnos and Ross have been able to contain the running game, but Duke just has not been able to string together a couple of hits yet at all tonight.
They could use a little help from Ross here if he loses Lebowski on ball. As you mentioned, only 4 walks on the year, 27 and 2/3 inning pitched. So it would be very uncharacteristic for Ross to lose Lebowski on balls. It's right there, he takes the count full.
Is this the time that Lebowski begins to turn it around offensively? 3-2 pitch in there for a called 3rd strike. Ross battles back and gets his man.
There's no such thing as a hitter's count when you can throw multiple pitches for a strike at any time. And full count, breaking ball. Here's another look. Good breaking ball. Look how far outside of the zone that pitch started. Broke right back out to the outer half. Lebowski clearly expecting fastball, taking all the way on that one when he saw the angle of the ball out of the pitcher's hand. Ross with a great breaking ball to sit Lebowski down.
It's a lot of confidence to throw a full count off-speed pitch to a leadoff hitter. The 0-1, lash toward left. Loperfido takes a wide turn at first, digging for second, looking for the extra base throw in time. No, Loperfido slides into second. You want to talk about aggressive. That ball did not get by Packard. That was just Loperfido outrunning the throw, basically. Looked like the throw might have beaten Loperfido to the bag, but just a bit off target.
Great swing by the freshman, taking it the other way and hustling out of the box, expecting to out of the box. Never let up for 1 minute. A great slide right there, and there have been so many plays in this game that have come down to inches. There's another example. Look at that slide. His right hand, he held it up, reached out with the left hand to the inner part of the base, saw where the throw was coming from, slid to the other part of the bag. That could be a small play for this Duke offense that creates a spark.
Taylor goes the other way. Will that one stay fair? It will. It'll be extra bases and back-to-back hits. Loperfido comes around. And it's 5-2. Back-to-back doubles. Talked about how Duke had not strung together at bats here this evening. For the first time, they do so. And for the first time since the bottom of the first, Duke scores a run. One away, Taylor on second. Another look.
Looked like a breaking ball to the outer part. Great job. 2 hitters back-to-back for the Blue Devils, not only hitting doubles, but going the other way, taking the pitches that are coming to them rather than trying to do too much. As Taylor stands up, easy double for the speedy center fielder for the Blue Devils.
I thought William Sutton did a nice job playing that in the corner and right, because if he even misplays that at all, Taylor is probably on third base with less than 2 away.
We've mentioned the impact of the turf and how fast the ball can get on you or get by you. We saw Conine misplay one in right field earlier in the game that cost an extra base, and That time in right field, William Sutton did a good job cutting that one off. Kenny Taylor now out at second base.
Ross stays in. He'll face the righty Miller. The righty Williams is warm down the right field line. Taylor, plenty of speed at second base. Duke a hit away from making this interesting and putting a little game pressure, perhaps a little more game pressure on East Carolina. And that one's in for a strike. For as dominant at times as it has seemed East Carolina has been tonight, it is only a 3-run game. The 0-1 to Miller. Grounded toward third. Taylor forced to retreat, and there's 2 away.
Good pitch by Ross there. Looked like he got in on the hands of Max Miller, unable to extend the barrel and really drive the ball hard. Hit off the handle a little bit down to Litton, who made the play. In this scenario, when Duke felt like they were out of this game, they tack on a run here. You just want to get within one swing. You want to tie the game with one swing. Right now, one swing can result in a 5-4 game. Down the stretch of this game, that Coach Pollard's goal is to have his guys get to the point where one swing ties it, and then you know anything can happen. And that'll be their goal heading through this bottom of the 7th, 8th, and 9th.
In steps Conine. He, of anybody, can change a game with one swing. Been a tough night, 0 for 2. Struck out in the 2nd, flew out in the 5th. 7 home runs on the season, though. Ross ahead. In the count, 0-1. Taylor on second. 8 for 12 in stolen base attempts this season. Another high pop-up for Conine. A couple of steps off third is Litton. And that's going to do it in the bottom of the 7th. Duke scratches one across, but no more. Pirates take a 3-run lead to the top of the 8th. Litton, who just made that third out, will lead things off for the Pirates when we come back.
Flex Speed.
Top of the 8th, Litton, Williams, Sutton, and Brown due up for East Carolina. Pirates looking for a midweek non-conference road win, a top 10 win at that. Connor Litton steps to the plate. RBI double in the 4th. Stinson back out for more work. Inning in 2/3 thus far. 2 hits, no runs, 3 strikeouts out of the 6 batters he's faced. That's about par for the course for Graham Stinson. Count is 2-0.
Stinson does a great job working his fastball away to right-handed hitters. It's a left-handed pitcher. That two-seam tails away to the outer part. Proctor usually does a good job framing those up. That one missed just a little too far outside.
The 2-0 from Stinson. Fouled away.
And even with a 2-0 hitters count, Stinson doing a good job keeping that one on the outer part of the plate. Never really gives up anything too good. Always looking for at least the outer third, maybe not painting the black, but works the thirds of the plate very well.
Two and two. Michael Smickless, Jimmy Herron, Chris Proctor. The 3 due up for Duke. Wonder if Ryan Ross will be back out there. Alec Burleson, Gavin Williams. Possibilities as well. That one misses and the count is full.
Stinson with a little extra animation catching that ball back from Proctor. Thought that one should have been strike 3.
Skipping out of the way. It's Coach Godwin down the third base line as Litton stays alive. Another full count pitch on the way from Stinson.
This is the portion of the East Carolina lineup that has done the damage tonight. Right now, Litton 1 for 3 with a double RBI on deck. Williams Sutton 2 for 3 on the night. Turner Brown 1 for 3. Burleson 2 for 3. Bottom of this Pirate lineup has had a spark for this ECU offense. They've combined 7 of the 9 hits.
Litton continues to battle here. Coming up for the Pirates, a road trip to Memphis for a 3-game set. Duke will welcome North Carolina State. NC State then at Davidson for the midweek after playing East Carolina, so Duke will get a lot of in-state games. Litton stares at strike 3. He didn't think so. There's one away here in the 8th.
You made mention of the in-state games. Right now, you've Duke, number 8 in the country. ECU comes into this game at number 11. NC State, depending on what poll you look at, number 2 as we look at strike 3 again from Stinson. And then on top of that, down the road, North Carolina, number 19 in the Baseball America poll. And interesting stat, these 4 teams in North Carolina never played in the NCAA baseball tournament in the same year. And it looks almost inevitable that all 4 will make the postseason here in 2018.
Another hit the other way. How good is William Sutton? How nice is it to have him back? I've already mentioned it once, I know, but worth repeating. Gives this lineup a new dynamic now that he's back and feeling good again. Average up over 350. 364, in fact. It's raised his average by about 40 points tonight with the 3 for 4.
East Carolina just peppering hard line drives in the 6-hole and the 4-hole. Doing a great job hitting the ball hard and on the ground, not infield hits, not swinging bunts that kind of have a little bit of luck associated with them, but hard hit ground balls finding their way across this turf into the outfield, and their 10th hit of the night there by William Sutton.
That one's in for a strike.
Stinson throws a very heavy fastball. By that I mean you can just tell by the way Proctor catches it. It's takes his glove with him. A lot of guys may have the same velocity. They throw what you'd call a light ball, a four-seam that kind of zips out of his hand. A couple different varieties of the same pitch.
Off and running again. Throw down to second, not in time. William Sutton continues to be a pest for Duke tonight. 3 for 4 on the evening. A run scored. Now a couple of stolen bases. Nothing for Proctor to do here. Off-speed pitch.
Wrong side of the bag, and Stinson has such a slow move to the plate that base runners steal the base on the pitcher. A lot of people look to the catcher when there's base stealing opportunity that's successful, but you'll see here, look at his long leg kick. He gets so high up in the air, slow move to the plate, and that gives the runner an extra step or two. Proctor literally has to be perfect behind the plate with his transfer and his throw to have a chance at a base stealer like that, and that's what you call stealing a base on the pitcher.
5 stolen bases for the Pirates this evening. Fouled away by Brown. Count is 1-2. Stinson looking for strikeout number 5. Alec Burleson waits on deck. Burleson 2 for 3 on the evening. Here's the 1-2. Off speed on the corner. Brown stares at strike 3. It is strikeout number 5 for Stinson.
Now batting the first baseman, number 19, Alec Burleson.
Burleson with 2 singles, second of which scored a run in inning 6.
Another look at the breaking ball. We've seen this one earlier in this inning. He struck out Connor Litton on the exact same pitch. Started in the left-handed batter's box, broke to the back door, called strike 3.
Starts Burleson off with a strike. Could very well see Burleson on the mound here in a moment. 4 saves on the year. Off and running, William Sutton, and steal number 6 for the Pirates. 3 for William Sutton alone. He's making up for lost time.
Another breaking ball, this one down in the zone. William Sutton stealing either way. That one bounces in the dirt. Proctor didn't have a chance, may have not had a chance on a good pitch. A great jump by William Sutton.
9 for 9 now on the season. Who knows how many he would have had this year if not for the injury. William Sutton halfway down the third baseline. It's off the glove of Stinson. Over in time, Cone across, and the inning ends. How about William Sutton just daring Stinson to throw back over to third? It's off the glove of the pitcher, but it's out number 3. Smickless, Heron, Proctor when we return. The Blue Devils trying to make up a 3-run deficit, looking for a non-conference win here at Jack Coombs Field. Ryan Ross back out on the mound. 2 innings of work thus far, a couple of hits and a run. Back-to-back doubles giving Duke a run in the bottom of the 7th. Smickless struck out and grounded into a double play, takes a strike there. Maybe the last batter for Ross, with Heron the righty due up next. But with the way he's pitching, just 21 pitches thus far. That off-speed pitch misses. Count evens at 1. See what Coach Godwin elects to do. After Smickless, top of the order, Heron and Proctor. Driven toward right. William Sutton, easy play, 1 away. Jimmy Heron was hit by a pitch and came around to score on a sacrifice fly in the first. That was all the Duke offense could muster until an inning ago. Blue Devils scoring once in the bottom of the 7th. Heron takes a ball there. Officially 0 for 1 on the day with that hit by pitch, a fly out in the 3rd and the walk. And now 2-0. Proctor on deck. 2 for 3 today is Chris Proctor, who has the average at an even 300 now. One's in for a strike.
Ross has tremendous fastball command. He was nibbling at the corner. The first two pitches of this at bat did not get the strike call. There came back with a nice two-seam, made sure that that one found the plate.
Off speed that time, in for a strike. Umpire was almost out of his crouch before the catcher even caught it.
Another show of confidence from this ECU pitching staff. Hitters count 2-1. Comes with the breaking ball, not afraid of falling behind 3-1. Found the strike zone there, evens it up 2-2.
Down the left field line, but foul. Heron out in front. The count stays even at 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. Fouled away again. Curveball misses. And the count is full to Jimmy Heron.
Ross hung that curveball out, left it a little bit high. Interesting to see what he does here. We talked about how he's been throwing off-speed pitches in tough counts.
There was another one. That one will drift out of play. Heron came into tonight leading the team in walks with 26. Has added one more to that total. Leads the ACC in runs scored. Has one of those tonight. For now, just trying to get on first base. You mentioned Duke trying to make this a one-swing game. The 3-2 pitch. Chopped toward third. Charging it nicely was Litton across the diamond in time. Heron is a guy that forces you to work a little quicker than you'd like. But a solid play from Litton, and there's two away.
Litton did a great job knowing his base runner there. Jimmy Heron can really fly down the first baseline, and as soon as that ball was chopped towards third, Litton was on the hard charge, caught it up by his chest on the big hop and made a quick exchange. Strong throw across the diamond, still barely got Jimmy Heron. Here's another look, only beat him by a half a step. So a good heads-up play down at third base by Connor Litton to know his base runner, get rid of the ball, charge the chopper, and make the out.
Proctor squaring to bunt potentially and taking a strike. Litton well back at third. Pirates electing to play Proctor a little more traditionally than they had in his last at-bat. Time is called. Had played Proctor more like a pull hitter. Still a slight shift. The 0-1, lefty to lefty, fouled away. And Ross is a strike away from putting up a 0 here in the bottom of the 8th.
Ross has been very good in relief. Like Graham Stinson, he pitches from the stretch at all times. A lot of relief pitchers are going to that style. While have a windup and a stretch delivery when
lifted into center. Henriksen settles under it, and that'll do it. Another good inning of work for Ryan Ross. Henriksen, Packard, and Lloyd will look to add to the lead. East Carolina trying to come away from Durham with a non-conference win. 3 runs to the good at this point.
What pain?
2 2/3 innings of shutout ball for Graham Stinson. 3 hits surrendered, 5 strikeouts out of the 10 batters that he has faced, and his charge will be to put up another 0 here in the top of the 9th. Let the Duke offense go back to work in search of 3 more runs. Pirates will send Henriksen, Packard, and Lloyd to the plate. Try to make life difficult for the big lefty.
Leading off for the Pirates is center fielder number 4, Drew Henriksen.
Henriksen walked in the 5th. Sacrifice fly back in the 3rd. He takes a strike.
Stinson has done a good job for Duke coming in, settling into this game, putting up a couple of zeros, really pounding the strike zone and attacking these ECU hitters.
The 0-1, lifted towards center. Henriksen reaches with a leadoff single to center. Lloyd and Brickhouse now the only batters in the lineup for East Carolina without a hit tonight. Packard 1 for 4, 3 strikeouts and a single. That single back in the 5th, he would come around to score a run. Part of a 2-run 5th. Pirates scoring all their runs in the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings. Off and running, first pitch, and that one just drills Packard right in the center of the back. So now 1st and 2nd as a conference ensues on the mound.
We know Packard already has a bad back coming into this game. Luckily, that one just missed his back and caught him in the elbow.
I thought it hit his back from the angle we had, but caught the elbow guard.
Packard was not thrilled, but it looked to be a breaking ball from the arm of Stinson that just got away from him, so certainly nothing intentional there.
That'll be the end for Stinson. Runners on 1st and 2nd here in the top of the 9th. We'll have a new pitcher for the Blue Devils. Matt Mervis will be on for Duke. Give you his numbers when we come back. The righty will take over for the lefty with a couple of runners aboard here in the top of the 9th.
Duke has a new.
Matt Mervis on the mound for Duke, 4th pitcher of the evening for the Blue Devils, 3-0 on the season with a 3.68 ERA. 22 innings pitched, 9 earned runs, 9 walks, 19 strikeouts. Opponents hitting 162. Pirates trying to go 11-2 on the road. Coming into tonight, 10-2, 2nd best percentage in the nation. Only Tennessee Tech a better win percentage on the road. They're 13-2. Pirates have won 16 in a row in this series. Blue Devils last year 5-1. Overall, 36-12-1 are the Pirates against Duke. In steps Brady Lloyd.
Now batting the 2nd baseman, number 10, Brady Lloyd.
0 for 3 tonight with a sacrifice. Henriksen on 2nd, Packard on 1st. Still nobody out. And Lloyd squares around early. Pops that one up.
Couldn't tell from our angle if Proctor came up with that ball. It looked like, based on the reaction here, that probably popped out of his glove. Here's a replay. Definitely not what you want with a sacrifice bunt. Popped straight up. Proctor did a good job getting rid of his mask and must have just been on the spin of the ball. It came right out of his glove.
Tells you a little bit of the night that Chris Proctor's had too, by the way. He's been good at the plate, but not his sharpest fielding effort. I think he'd be the first one to tell you that. The error on the throw down to 3rd, very makeable play there in behind the plate. Gives Lloyd another crack at the bunt.
We see Duke here trying to execute what you call the drive back play. That's runner on 1st and 2nd. Obvious bunt situation, nobody out. Out at shortstop, Zach Cohn is running the runner back to 2nd base as if there's going to be a pickoff attempt. At that time, that's when you'd expect to see the pitcher deliver the ball. That way the base runner, there it is again, is a little bit closer to the 2nd base bag, does not get the jump that he wants to get. They continue to run this play here in this bunt situation.
Count is 1-1. Pitch misses, and it's 2-1.
Matt Mervis has a very electric fastball, got up to 95 miles per hour down in Tallahassee on Saturday. Probably a lot of the reason Lloyd unable to put that bunt on the ground that was almost caught by Proctor. Loperfido, the Duke first baseman, charging very hard.
The 2-1 in for a strike, 2-2.
Lloyd squared to bunt there, pulled back to slash, but we mentioned the velocity on Mervis's fastball. No way he was going to get the barrel on that inside pitch, elected to take the pitch and even the count.
2 balls, 2 strikes as Mervis steps off. Lloyd swinging away this time and sends it into left field. See what they do with Henriksen. They'll elect to hold him, go station to station. The throw comes into Lebowski. Bases loaded, nobody out. Instead of first and second, 1 away, the ball pops out of Proctor's glove. Now the base is juiced. Washer comes to the dish. A walk and 2 singles to go along with a ground out. 2 for 3 officially on the evening for Washer. Average up to 352. Pirates can take a lot of the suspense out of this one if they're able to tack a few on.
And yet again, another hard hit ground ball through this Duke infield.
Right back up the middle, it's off Mervis and through the hole at second base. 2 more runs will score. Certainly hope that Mervis is okay. And the Pirates make it 7-2. That's one that goes from potentially an out or somewhere, whether it's caught by Mervis, throw to home, throw to first, anywhere. Instead, it just smacks right off his body into the vacated spot that Miller had left after he was off and chasing that one that was destined for center field. And 2 Pirates come around to score.
Mervis nearly got a glove on that ball. We saw the replay. It hit right near his glove. Had he gloved that one, that would have been most definitely a double play, maybe a triple play. Who knows? He seems to be okay, but very hard hit ball off the bat of Jake Washer. He's had a great game. That's his 3rd hit on the night.
Another pitching change for Duke. That'll be the end of the day for Matt Mervis. 7-2 is the score. We'll give you the details on who it is when we return on ACC Network Extra. Matt Dockman on for Duke. Dockman, the freshman lefty. 17th appearance. Mervis just came on for appearance 18. Dockman second on the team now with 17. ERA just over 1.04. He's only given up 2 earned runs all year in 17 and a third innings. 15 strikeouts, 6 walks. I know that was a tough play, obviously, for Mervis. You can't expect a pitcher to make that play. I think you can expect somebody like Proctor to make the play in behind the plate. Not that it was easy, right? It's hard. You've been there, right? Throw off the mask, got to find the ball, make the play. But I think Proctor was settled under it enough to where he'd be disappointed that he couldn't close his glove on it. It just seems like every opportunity that Duke has given East Carolina, the Pirates have kicked the door in.
Another look at that hard hit line drive off the bat of Jake Washer right up the middle. Trickles into the outfield. 2 runs come around to score for the Pirates, and ECU just keeps pouring it on. They've been the more aggressive offensive team tonight. They put pressure on a Duke defense that's normally very reliable. very high fielding percentage, top 10 fielding percentage in the country, but they've been aggressive on the base pass, and that pressure has resulted in more Duke mistakes than we're accustomed to seeing, and most likely the reason for the 7-2 on the scoreboard in favor of the Pirates.
Still nobody out. Lloyd on third, Washer on first, Brickhouse at the plate, working on an 0 for 4. Does have an RBI, though, on a ground out in the 5th. 13 hits for East Carolina. Another throw over from Dockman.
Dockman showing a pretty good move there to first base, trying to keep the runner Washer close, trying to keep the double play in order. Duke defense is back at regular depth, not looking to gun down the runner at home, but on a ground ball, hopefully turn the double play and work themselves out at the top of the 9th.
Off-speed pitch misses. It's going to take a Herculean effort now for Duke in the bottom of the 9th. Cohen, Lebowski, and Loperfido due up. But the Pirates far from done here in their half. 2 across already. Make it 3. Brickhouse has his first hit of the night, his second RBI. East Carolina team batting average is going to be close to 300 after tonight.
Well, we've seen this before. Hard hit ball through the Duke infield. Brickhouse gets a pitch on the inner part, puts the barrel on it, drives it hard through the 4-hole, drives in another run for East Carolina for Brickhouse. That is his first hit on the night. Started out a little slow, did pick up an RBI back in the top of the 5th on a ground ball to second base. So 2 RBIs on the night for Brickhouse, 1 single.
$14 for 34 are the Pirates this evening. Dockman looks down at his feet after that one, perhaps a footing issue on the mound.
East Carolina now very comfortable with their lead. Not bringing out any small ball here, up 6 runs. First and second, nobody out. Normally a bunt situation when you've got 2 of the top teams in the country squaring off, but swinging away right now is going to be Connor Litton.
Dockman misses that time, 2-0. Eight to 2 the lead. Death by 1,000 paper cuts. 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, 3 in the 9th for East Carolina. Dropped out of the top 10 after the series loss to South Florida, but I think that's just an illusion. This is very much a top 10 team. It's been a top 10 program. Expect single-digit number to be in front of their name next week. After this performance tonight,
they've played well in all phases of the game. They've limited Duke to 5 hits, 2 runs. They haven't committed to error tonight. Pitching for East Carolina has been very strong.
Mentioned it off the top. You hit on it, Ron. 3.34 ERA as a team. That one's fouled away. 984 fielding percentage. Batting average of 287. They're hitting over 400 tonight, so you figure that'll tick up a couple of points. Just not a lot of holes. William Sutton back in the lineup and looking spectacular. That only adds another element. Coming into tonight, William Sutton only had 40 at-bats on the season. Most of the regulars up over 100. Gives you an idea of how much time he's missed. Look at the lineup for the Pirates. 396, 381, 358. 277, 297, and 364. The batting averages in the top 6. The 2-2. How many times have we seen that tonight? It's like watching a replay. Left field, right field, hard hit ground balls, line drives, solid contact. Haven't seen anybody for the Pirates over swing. Nobody's looking to drive one over the fence. And in steps Williams Sutton again. 3 for 4. I've been incredibly impressed by the Pirates tonight.
Very balanced offensive approach. You mentioned the hard ground ball, singles through the hole. They have a few doubles on the scorecard tonight. They're very patient at the plate. They don't swing at pitches out of the strike zone. They don't chase. They don't help you out. They want to hit their pitch, and they've done a great job at that tonight.
Pirates have struck out 8 times, but 5 of those were against Graham Stinson, who seems to strike out almost everybody. Proctor will go out and have a chat with Dockman.
Looks like Duke might be buying time for the bullpen. Double barrel action down in the Duke bullpen down the left field line right now as Proctor takes a word with the freshman Dockman. This will be a good learning experience for him. Not exactly the outing I'm sure he was hoping to have, but Duke on a tough stretch right now. Was able to take 2 games up from Florida State this past weekend, a top 10 team at the time. Game 3 got rained out down in Tallahassee. Now they're right back at it with number 11 East Carolina this weekend. Doesn't get any easier. Ranked as high as 2 in some polls. They'll have the 3-game series with NC State. So certainly a time here late in this Duke season. A lot of learning left to be done. Still a lot of young talent in this lineup. Certainly going to have a postseason opportunity.
I don't think it's overstating it, although maybe it is a touch. I mean, this is like Omaha. I mean, this is Florida State, East Carolina, NC State, back-to-back, to back-to-back-to-back. I mean, that's a lot of firepower. That's super regional-esque. That's Omaha-esque. When the worst team you're playing in that stretch is ranked, again, depending on the poll, 11, 12. It's a tough ask. Duke's going to learn a lot about itself over this stretch. Passed the test on the road. Bit of a tough night here tonight. Another conversation. Looks like Proctor and Dockman might have been on different pages there.
You mentioned the postseason. This especially feels like an NCAA regional game. These two teams coming from different conferences. East Carolina coming from a little over an hour away down in Greenville, North Carolina, heading west here to Durham. Highly anticipated matchup. Duke moved up to number 8. East Carolina sits at number 11. And Duke not with the performance they were hoping for tonight, but again, has a chance to bounce back this weekend against NC State. It's having a spectacular year. NC State playing North Carolina tonight, oddly enough, in a non-conference game down the road at the Durham Bulls Athletic Park.
Wolfpack leading that game. It's interesting, too, Ron. You played in this program. This is a different feel for Duke baseball. Big crowd tonight, anticipated matchup, highest ranking in the Baseball America poll that the program's ever had at 8th, setting all kinds of records. As that one is hit towards short, underhanded to Miller for 1, on to first in time. Double play, but a run will score as Washer comes across. And it's really the first foray into this kind of situation for all these guys. They're all sort of learning on the run. And I think if there's anything that you can take positively out of this experience for Duke, it's the opportunity for next time to perhaps be a little different because of the lessons learned tonight.
That's right. Duke top 10 in the country turning double plays. There's a good example of how they let their defense work for them. And, you know, Duke has kind of been on a steady incline seemingly all season.
Going across the diamond, and that'll do it. 4 across in the top of the 9th. Pirates kick the extra point, 9-2. So we head to the bottom half. Cone, Lebowski, and Loperfido due up for the Blue Devils. Duke looking for a little late inning magic.
At the top of the 9th, each gets 4 runs and 5 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. Will score halfway to half. Duke 2, East Carolina 9.
That's one.
Gavin Williams on the pitch for East Carolina. Williams' 9th appearance, ERA under 2. 9 third innings pitched, a couple of earned runs, 5 strikeouts, 5 walks. Opponents hitting 167 off of the powerful, and I mean powerful, right-hander. You want to see what 100 miles an hour looks like? Feast your eyes. Oh, that pop on the mitt. How fast did you throw when you pitched?
I was lucky to break 87.
I was lucky to break 67, I think. I think the catcher throws it back to the pitcher faster than I can throw it in the plate. You can just see the heat. Crazy velocity from the freshman right-hander. Talk about projectability at the next level. From Fayetteville, North Carolina, about an hour and a half south of here. The 1-2 on the right field line, but foul. Talk about genetics. Williams, 6'6", 230 pounds. Another 1-2. Cone lifts that one to the middle of the infield. 1 away here in the bottom of the 9th. Lebowski and Loperfido, the last hopes for Duke. You ever had to hit against 100 miles an hour?
Actually, I had to hit against 100 miles per hour in high school.
Goodness. Where were you playing?
Jason Neighborgall, actually a local kid from Durham.
Yeah.
Came to Durham to play him, and Lebowski with the nice rope there here late in the game. He doesn't mind 100.
Apparently that's all he needed was somebody to throw it a little harder. Lebowski with his first hit of the night. So he'll leave with a better taste in his mouth.
Neighborgall went on to play at Florida State. He was what we call effectively wild, which works very effectively when you're scared to death.
Yeah, it's one thing to bat against 100 miles an hour. It's another thing to do it when you're not really sure where it's going to go.
That's right.
Loperfido tried to tie it with one swing. Unfortunately for him, the 7-run home run not yet instituted in the sport of baseball. The 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed.
Sometimes in these scenarios, you get a guy that throws the ball so hard that even if he has a good breaking pitch, it slows the velocity of the pitch down to a speed that a hitter can handle. And so many times a pitcher like this that can really run it up there like Williams, just stick with the fastball until you get beat.
Off speed towards short. On a knee. Across the diamond, not in time. Brown tried to make the play himself. Loperfido beats it down the line by half a step. He'll reach via the fielder's choice. I want to thank our production crew. 3.5-hour game here in Durham. Always appreciate their efforts. We'll be right back at it. We mentioned it before. Ron and I will be on the call this weekend. Duke and NC State, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Here on ACC Network Extra. Kenny Taylor, a double and a run driven in his last at-bat in the 7th inning. Ahead in the count 1-0. Ron, your thoughts on what you saw from the Pirates tonight overall?
Well, the Pirates did a great job adding to their lead late in the game. They never gave up offensively, but it was some Duke miscues that really gave them that confidence and gave them that spark. I think without those miscues, starting there in the top of the 4th inning, this is a much closer game than it is right now, but ECU able to throw up a couple runs in the top of the 4th, top of the 5th. Next thing you know, they're off and running around the bases with a lot of confidence and consistently adding to their lead.
Duke perhaps down to its final strike. Ron, how do the Blue Devils turn the page after an effort that they will be no doubt disappointed with here at home?
They've had a great season. We've mentioned they've had a lot of pep in their step, a lot of air in their lungs, and they'll have a chance to reset. This one kind of brings you down to earth. You're losing to a good team. It's not really what you call slip-up loss.
That's just not fair from Williams. We're bringing 100 miles an hour and then pull the string. All smiles for East Carolina. I agree with you, Ron. It's obviously not a bad loss, and quite frankly, baseball is a sport. It's a long season. You're going to have nights like this. A couple of errors for the Blue Devils, a 9-2 win for East Carolina as the Pirates get victory number 27 on the season against 9 losses and most likely earn themselves a spot back in the top 10.
That's right. Duke offensively, 2 runs, 6 hits. East Carolina, 9 runs on 15 hits. Duke committed those 2 errors, a couple more mental errors on top of that. They compounded midway through the game. East Carolina consistently tacking up runs. Duke unable to do much, did score one in the bottom of the 1st. Looked like it was going to be a good start for the Blue Devils, but not enough. East Carolina pounded the baseball in the gaps, did a great job driving runs in, playing situational ball, and comes away with the victory over the Blue Devils.
Jake Agnos was excellent for the Pirates. 5 innings pitched, just 3 hits, 1 run. It was all the way back in the 1st, and then he settled in nicely. 4 strikeouts along with a couple of walks. 3 hit nights for Washer and Williams Sutton, who was a demon on the baseball.